It's not enough. Few solid left, but it's not enough. Few that'll reach that, but it's not enough. You bigger than myself, but it's not enough. I get on it. Yeah, somebody gotta do it. I mean, yeah, somebody gotta do it. I take a G-Pad, watching do it. We survived outside, all from the music. What? It's not enough. Few solid left, but it's not enough. You that'll reach that, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. I get on it. Yeah, somebody gotta do it. I mean, yeah, somebody gotta do it. I take a G-Pad, watch do it. Yeah, I did that. Hey, what's up, though? It's not enough. Few solid left, but it's not enough. You that'll reach that, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough.
Time to get the third and final day started of the Jacks College Baseball Classic from VyStar Ballpark, home of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Game one, a de facto championship game between the Buckeyes of Ohio State and the undefeated Alabama Crimson Tide. Welcome in here on D1 Baseball. He's Jack DeLongchamp. I'm Darren Vaught. A de facto championship game, but there are some qualifiers to that, Jack. Alabama is the lone 2-0 team in the field, so if they win, they get the championship belt. But the Buckeyes have a chance. They must win. They must win by 8 runs, and that belt is theirs.
Here's the deal, Justin here. A winner. He's very well aware of that number. Both of these teams, this offense is so potent this week. But with Coach Vaughn and the Tide trying to build a precedent, it's not about hoisting a trophy today. It's about rocking the belt.
So Ohio State, the away team, they will head to the plate first, and it's been a successful weekend for them and their bats. Little change in the lineup, though. Trey Lipsy, Lee Ellis, who have both hit home runs in this tournament, hoisted to the 1 and 2 spots in the order.
Well, setting a precedent, right? Lee Ellis, when you look at the numbers, you go, hey, not very much so a quick start to the season. He's absolutely crushing baseballs just right at defenders this week. I think getting him in the 2-hole, allowing him to serve as the table setter, because we all know that Tyler Petterini, the 4-year Buckeye, that 3-run triple, that, so close, being a winner in the bottom of the 9th just a day ago. He slides back into the 3-hole, but all eyes on that 5-hole. Mason Eckelman has been by far the most consistent bat in that Buckeye lineup this week.
It's a tall task for Bobby Alcock, the starting pitcher, the right-hander for the Crimson Tide.
Well, we thought Riley Quick was a big dude, man. They just keep bringing out these big old stock righties. Bobby Alcock, big fastball slider mix. He's got a changeup that uses that third pitch second time through the lineup. But the Massachusetts native, they are really excited about what he brings on Sundays in the SEC.
Alabama looking to remain undefeated both this weekend and in their season. Meanwhile, for Ohio State, they got their first win here in Jacksonville. Hank Himmonen behind the plate, Chris Tipton, Adam Clark, Chandler Durham. Other officials, it's been the same crew all week. Appreciate their help with this event in Jacksonville, which has just been a delight. We got our best weather of the weekend. Highs not quite to 70 degrees, sunny. This is what we aimed for when this whole thing got planned. Right?
I showed up at practice day with my flip-flops a-rockin'. Coach is going, what are we doing, man? That was a chilly one. All building up to a beautiful Sunday.
Alcock's first pitch contacted into the protective netting. The foul ball gets us underway, and Trey Lipsy has an 0-1.
Alcock, who did not pitch last year for the Crimson Tide. But hey, we're Southeastern guys. Covered this guy when he was at Gardner-Webb. He was the Big South Pitcher of the Year back in 2023. This stuff is legit.
1-1 after a miss to the outside to Lipsy. Batting .250 on the season, starting his 6th game. Brady Neal back behind the plate after a day off yesterday for the Crimson Tide. Again foul, 2-2 now.
Plattner, who subbed in more than nicely for the Crimson Tide. Got the scoring started with that double out into left. Alabama's got a pair of really talented backstops.
Just off the outside edge, and we've got a full count to our first batter of the day.
This is probably why we saw Coach Hare moving Lipsy into that 1-hole. He's done a great job of working counts all weekend long.
Keeps it at 3-2 with the foul ball. Yeah, Lipsy has drawn in their 5 games so far this season a team-high 6 walks. He's been hit by pitch 3 times. Twice in the game yesterday. In play, left side of the infield, LeBron gets the first out.
I like the approach from Lipsy. Works a big count. It's a fastball at the top of the zone. You can kind of see handcuffs him a little bit. LeBron goes to his left, fields it with ease.
Superstar shortstop Justin LeBron was the only one on the left side of the infield there for Alabama. They've moved over the third baseman often with that pole side shift to left-handed batters. And now Alcock begins. Lee Ellis with an off-speed taken for an 0-1. Ellis 3 hits on the season, 2 of them home runs. Hacks it backward 0-2.
Saw yesterday the adjustment for Ellis this season, man. This kid can hit a fastball with maybe the best of them in the Big Ten. Both of his homers coming off of heaters. It was where he got a lot of spin throughout the game yesterday. He only saw 2 fastballs after that blistering shot to center in his first AB.
Takes high, 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Even count now 2-2. Well, at the very least, the adjustment to the lineup has worked in that Lipsy worked Alcock to throw 7 pitches. And you're looking at another deep count here to Ellis. And he swipes it back into the net. 2-2 it remains.
You remember, tuned in with us last night, Alabama, Riley Quick on 44 pitches, just going 4 innings. They've got these guys on a really tight pitch count, building them up as the season progresses. Coach Vaughn joking with us, man, I can't wait to throw that guy 110 on Friday nights.
Lifted to the opposite field, shy of the track. And there to make the catch, Bryce Fowler squeezes for the second out. So with 2 down, nobody on, Tyler Petterini, the batter for Ohio State. Petterini's had a nice week. You mentioned well, you called it a triple. Technically, he got thrown out at third.
Not so fast.
Cleared the base paths with a double and change, we'll call it, to tie it up in the 9th and send it to extra innings for Ohio State yesterday. Man, what a wild game that was. Coastal Carolina edging them out in 11 innings. Popped up left field. Cade Snell's got it. And it's a 3-up, 3-down side for Ohio State in the top of the first. Bama's bats get going in the home half when we come back on D1 Baseball.
They say I walk like a king, talk like a king. You can act around now, say the same thing. They chasing the fame, they all want the name. But they ain't got what's running through these veins. Make way for the king. Look at me now, you can't hold me down. So give me the crown. They say I walk like a king, talk like a king. You can act around now, say the same thing. They chasing the fame, they all want the name. But they ain't got what's running through these veins. We're not the same, we're not the same. We're not the same, we run everything. We're not the same, we're not the same. They ain't got what's running through these veins. Make way for the king.
The Jacks College Baseball Classic is presented by Peak Events, home of the best outside of Omaha. Follow Peak DOT Events on social media to keep up with the best in early season college baseball. Peerless frame defensively for the Crimson Tide in the top of the first inning. Now on to the bottom of the first. Their lineup looks pretty similar to what it has all week. Bryce Fowler, Justin LeBron, Coleman Mizell, the 3 due up in their first crack at it.
Lefty, righty, all the way through. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Darren.
The starting arm for Ohio State is Jake Miholik, right-hander out of the state of Ohio, 6'3", 210. Mihalik making his second start of the season. He only went through 2 innings the first time around this year. Gave up 4 earned on 3 hits. And a couple of home runs as part of that. So he's really looking for a bounce back. If Ohio State is going to win this tournament, which would require an 8-run victory over Alabama. So the circumstances there would be, if they beat Alabama, we would have a 3-way tie at 2 wins and 1 loss after the second game today. But neither of the teams in the second game are in contention, because the tiebreaker would then go to run differential. Therefore, the need for us to do this aggregate thing like it's a Premier League soccer match.
I love it.
Fitting, though, we started at 11 a.m. on a Sunday, so that kind of feels right.
Just seeing a ball on green grass, man. Where else would you rather be? Daring to brag on Mihalik some more and give him the benefit of the doubt. That was his first career collegiate start just a week ago. I know he gives up the 2 homers, but to me, the 3 walks were crucial in that outing. They always seem to come at the wrong time. For him, it's going to be about doing just that, getting ahead early and often.
Gets a first pitch strike on Bryce Fowler, who's been so steady at the top of this Bama order. A miss low and in makes it 1-1. Fowler, 9 hits for his 23 at bats. He's driven in as the leadoff man, a team high 12 runs.
Testament to how deep this Tide offense really is.
You know Coach Rob Vaughn loves that too, because it means the bottom of the order is doing its job.
7, 8, and 9, all with OBPs over 500, and it didn't even matter if you substitute Neal for Plattner. I mean, you got 9 guys contributing in a massive way.
3-1 here from Mihalik. That's ball 4. Leadoff man walks for the Crimson Tide.
But we've seen this offense hurt opposing arms throughout the weekend in a multitude of ways. You go back to Friday night, 10-plus free passes against Coastal Carolina, and we talked about this idea, man, they're so talented swinging the sticks that you wanted to see them be a little bit patient at times, and they did that on Friday after putting up 10-plus runs in their first 4.
An early move over to the base runner, Bryce Fowler, as Justin LeBron is the batter. A little quiet with the bat this weekend at the Jacks Classic. His average down, funny enough, to 391 on the season. Still 6 extra base hits, second on the team in runs driven in with 10.
OPS still over 1,300.
Fowler with the hard secondary lead, but stays put at first. Taken pitch by LeBron, 1-0 the count. Fowler, 4 of 5 in stolen base attempts this season. Fouled up and behind the field of play. That's going to make its way out of contest. So a 1-1 now for Justin LeBron.
Not necessarily varying up his looks. Granted, we're only 2 pitches in, but Fowler was getting a pretty aggressive lead. With LeBron, I hate to say struggling, but struggling to maybe find a knock. Ellis just shaded over that bag. Maybe they're thinking what I am, a potential hit and run spot.
Another throw over to Fowler, but he's back. Mihalik to the plate, sails it high. Easy take for LeBron, 2 balls and 1 strike. I don't mean to suggest that piecing runs together gradually with small ball is not the way to go. But this is an Ohio State team. 8 runs in every game they've played so far this season. Right? So you're not necessarily going to take the approach of, all right, let's just get one across and leave it on Bobby to throw a gem.
It'll be interesting because I don't think they're going to change who they are by any means. They're just going to be hyper aggressive and maybe amplifying all that it is in their small ball world.
How about that one? Ducking underneath the bat head of LeBron, 2-2.
Mahalik, we've seen that fastball up to 93, 94, but that slider right now, I mean, look at the depth to get a hitter like LeBron feeling a little silly. Special stuff.
Swung on and missed. Went to it again.
I love the sequence. Get LeBron out on that front side. He's hunting heater in the 2-1 spot. Then he evens him up. To me, this actually looks like take a look at where Eckelman sets up. That's just a fastball at the top of the zone. It's almost like a hard cutter. He's throwing that cutter at about 91, 92. And again, not insane movement. But out the hand, it appears to look like that slider. He sits down, LeBron swinging.
Coleman Mizell a take, 1-0. Still the runner at first base with one away. Mahalik came back in the AB to strike out LeBron, but he's been behind against every batter so far. And now 3-0. Four pitches and a walk to Coleman Mizell. Free pass to 2 of 3 batters faced for Mahalik so far.
His patience has stood out to us. That's his 4th walk already this weekend, Darren. He's worked counts. He's been aggressive when need be, but we talked about inverting that strikeout to walk ratio. Obviously, there's a reason big Coleman Mizell's hitting that 3-hole. Got a lot of thump, team high, tied with 2 homers. He's now got 9 walks to just 3 strikeouts on the season, man. Great plate discipline for Coach Vaughn's 3-hole.
First chance with runners in scoring position for either side. Jason Torres, the Crimson Tide third baseman, looks at one way outside, 1-0. Scrambling effort by Mason Eckelman behind the dish for Ohio State to keep it within play. Torres looks at a strike. Felt like an eternity ago the last time Mahalik got one of those across, truly.
Yeah, that one's the cutter. And it just looks like he's overthrowing him right now. As Ohio State's actually going to send a couple bodies down into the bullpen. And as tensions start to rise, you almost grip that breaking ball a little bit harder. He wants to free himself up, lay back a little bit.
Called strike, okay. So Torres with 2 on him. Looks like Luke Carroll, the graduate transfer from Oklahoma, headed to the pen for Ohio State. Swing and a miss. Torres goes down on strikes.
Effectively wild that at bat, right?
Yeah.
Just slider away, cutter. Torres has got his eyes set out in that left-handed batter's box. And then Mahalik reminds you, hey, this is 94 coming at you, man. Hove, reach into the back pocket. The young sophomore, man, he's got some gas.
2 away, it brings up Will Hodo, the first baseman. Hitting a walk yesterday in a 1-for-3 effort.
That last fastball to Hodo up to 95.
able to sneak that one into the strike zone. 1-1 to Hodo. Popped up. Eckelman out from behind the plate and squeezes it for the third out. So some trouble with a couple of walks. But Ohio State strands both runners, and we go to the second with no score. The Jacks College Baseball Classic is brought to you by D1Baseball.com. No one covers college baseball like D1 Baseball, covering every game from coast to coast. D1 Baseball is the resource no college baseball fan can be without. No score through one here in Jacksonville. We've got a de facto championship game. In our first game on the final day of the Jacks Classic, Ohio State and Alabama. The Crimson Tide, the lone 2-0 team in competition at this point. So a win obviously secures a championship for them. Ohio State does have a chance, though. They would need to not only beat Alabama, but they would have to win by at least 8 runs.
I want to go back to our conversation earlier today, Darren, too, about, well, hey, just because you're small ball doesn't mean to insinuate that they have to score in a flurry. We mentioned scoring 8+ runs every game this season. We keep talking about the small ball of the former mid-major Campbell head coach Justin Hare, now in the Big Ten, his first season at Ohio State. They've also hit more home runs than anybody in the Classic so far. So this idea that, hey, they can beat you in a multitude of ways, but their timing, right? They got guys that throw hard and hit hard. That was the mantra at Campbell. They grew them big and they grew them strong, and that weight room is so methodical in the way that they build and orchestrate this roster. But the timing of it, right? Like the Lee Ellis homer and Eckelman going backside and clearing the bases on the triple. They got big, strong dudes. To me, the small ball is almost facilitating ways to get guys on base and then always delivering the clutch.
It's a good point, Ohio State. It feels like they've done it with both when they've been successful in Jacksonville this weekend. Matthew Gravelin is responsible for one of those home runs, a 400-foot blast, 108 off the bat. He's got a 2-0. Moved to the cleanup spot in the order. He's been at the top of the order so far this weekend. Big hack. That was the count to do it. Now he's got a 2-1.
Oof, best on best. You mentioned it. His OBP right now only at about 296. They want to cut down on those strikeouts. For Gravelin, 10 strikeouts. He's only walked 3 times, but he's slugging over 540. And now got 2 homers, a team high. It feels more like a prototypical cleanup hitter and more so at the top of the lineup.
Oh, he got him to go. That is a surprising call on the check of Gravelin's swing over to first base. And that's another strikeout.
Take another look at it, brought to you Alabama Online. Oh, yeah, he does it. You know what? It's funny because the body goes at the very last second. You can kind of see because the chest flies all the way through, just because the hands and wrists don't break. He's upset with the call. You understand why, but if he goes and takes another look at the replay, he'd be in agreement with us upstairs.
First of the day for Bobby Alcock, as he has now begun 5 innings in his 2 outings this season, yet to give up a hit to a leadoff batter. Misses the zone with one. Mason Eckelman fouls one back, therefore a 1-1 count.
Eckelman scorching 3 baseballs yesterday with an exit velo over 100. in the fourth at 98 miles per hour. I don't know if I hit 4 baseballs over 100 mile per hour in an entire season.
There's another one, blitzed foul. Yeah, he's one of a couple of guys this weekend who have hit the ball really, really hard and not had as much success as maybe he should have had.
I was going to say, between he and DeCrisio over at NC State, I don't necessarily want to see a home run derby, but shatter some TrackMan systems over the weekend.
2-2, fought off, and Eckelman gets a chance at another. Mark Stevens, the shortstop, awaits in the on-deck circle. He's moved a good bit down in the order.
He's been in that 3-hole, junior college shortstop, smooth fielding, love the swing, really quiet. He's just gotten off to a little bit of a slow start as we see Stevens there. He was a kid that was actually committed to Hair to Campbell, comes with him to Ohio State, just hide him in the 6-hole, trying to get him some more fastballs.
Full count up on top of the zone, and Eckelman goes for it. Consecutive punch-outs for Alcock. That's 2 away.
Well, he's such a big guy that, you know, the fastball is 89 to 91. This is a 90-mile-per-hour heater at the top of the zone, but because he sequences Eckelman, who's been red hot, almost alternating, right? Breaking ball to start, starts him off backwards. That fastball at the top of the zone just changes the eye level. Back-to-back punches to start the inning, and Alcock looks dialed.
Starts Stevens with a strike. A quick 0-2. Stevens 5 for 25 and even 200 batting average on the season.
Talked about in the open the idea that he was going to use the changeup as the third pitch. In that first outing, that was the case. I also seen something in the scouting report today because it's been that 12-6 breaking ball like I talked about. He's utilizing the slider as that third pitch to almost run one across the plate, the 12-6 to change the eye level, and then the fastball up in the zone.
Stevens pokes one foul with 2 strikes. His count remains 2-2. For the most part, some pretty deep counts so far for Alcock. Not terribly inefficient, but 30-plus pitches. Ground ball, scooped up by LeBron. Easy toss is in time. Buckeyes go in order for the second time. To the bottom of the second, still no score.
Hi, I'm Bob, or Breakfast on a Bun. I answer to both. My brother, Bob Ranchero. Hey, he's always been the wild one.
Howdy.
We're actually twins. Same signature sausage, fresh egg, and melty cheese. But that picante salsa and pickled jalapenos, it changes you. We're so close. He does call me regular Bob, though, which is a little hurtful.
We'd love for you to stay up to date with the Jax College Baseball Classic all year round. Be sure to follow on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, now X, at Jax CBC on all social media platforms. Players to watch for the Crimson Tide, presented by University of Alabama Online. Obviously, Justin LeBron's always going to be at the center of this. Carson Osmer, not sure if he'll get into the mix today as a reliever, but could be a possibility. He's been pretty good so far this season for the Tide, and Bobby Alcock, the starter, looks very sharp thus far.
He averaged 10 Ks per 9 when he was the Big South Pitcher of the Year back in 23. He's well on track to keep right on that mark. But how about Osmer? Does he feel like the next Ivy League guy to show up in the SEC or ACC and put up gaudy numbers, 2 saves and 2 appearances? You know, last night, going an inning in the third, it felt like he could be a piece because of that funky arm action. He did it twice, where he'd throw from that 3/4 arm slot, and then he came up over the top. For a lot of fans that remember that Coastal Carolina team that won it back in 2016, I know we talked about him with them being in the field here at the Jacks Classic, but when Mikey Morrison, their pitching coach, was on that squad, they had a guy named, remember Bobby from both sides? Might be something that they toy around with, where it's a little bit unique, and in the SEC where you're facing so many talented hitters night in and night out, Osmer could be that guy that could be an X factor in the pen for the Tide.
This has been maybe the timeliest hitter for the Tide this weekend. Brennan Norton with a 2-0 count after a couple of takes. Home run yesterday, his second of the season. Four-pitch walk to start it. It's the leadoff batter reaching via walk in both innings so far for the Crimson Tide.
He had 3 walks in that outing against Arizona State last week, a sophomore with an electric fastball, but he cannot keep flirting with danger. So he had to cut down on those walks heading into today's contest. He's already got 3 just in an inning plus.
Cade Snell punches it through the left side of the infield. A walk and a base knock, and the Tide are rolling 2 on with no outs.
We haven't told the Cade Snell story yet. We will. A fun-loving, country-singing, left-handed swinging. Love this approach to the backside. Ohio State pinched up the middle. Shoots it the other way, wasting no time. 94 on the outside corner. Allow him to provide the power. Now it leads to the LSU transfer, Brady Neal.
Neal, we mentioned earlier, got the day off yesterday, catching in the 8th spot in the order, trying to get a bunt down. Puts it foul, so he's got an 0-1. This is a luxury, right? You mentioned it a bit earlier, and we've seen it with a couple of teams, Ohio State included, with Gravelin and Eckelman, right? You can platoon catchers. They're both good bats, so you like to keep them both in the order. Use that DH spot.
Neal really handles the bat well. Just catching 94 in on the hands. It's tough to bunt when that fastball's coming right at you, but I think it's a bigger picture play too, right? It just saves these legs when Alabama's not trying to play 56. They're trying to play 65 plus, so in the long haul, it's the smart play, even though a guy like Brady Neal is hitting 300. You want him in the lineup daily.
It is a little bit more of a sacrifice for Rob Vaughn than it is over in the Ohio State dugout, right? Because it feels like that DH spot is reserved for whoever is not catching, whether it's Eckelman or Gravelin. With Coleman Mizell, I mean, look, nobody's moving in from that spot for the Tide.
You don't necessarily want to play matchup because between Mizell and Hodo, those are 2 big league at-bats every time you get in the batter's box, where it's like you know that they're going to work counts, a consistent barrel. So you're right, the first basemen are platooning that DH role for the Tide.
Big swing at the 2-2, riding up on Neal. He did sort of give Mahalik a head start with those 2 failed bunt attempts, but that's a strikeout, the 3rd for Mahalik.
This is where the fastball of Mahalik is a game changer. You know, and Neal turns around and knows it's a sacrifice spot with first and second, nobody out, and he's just throwing that 93-mile-per-hour. It's a fastball, but it's got cut action, so it's coming right in on the hands of a lefty, and you can see it almost jammed him up. Puts himself in a hole, is unable to recover.
First pitch to Richie Bonamolo Jr. is a called strike. Still 2 on, just 1 out. Came around for a quick 0-2. Bonamolo's been a dog out in center field. Has had some productive at-bats as well. Lays off of a close one. Another double check of the pulled back swing, 1-2.
Another tied hitter that has inverted that walk to strikeout ratio. Perfect second leadoff, an OBP of over 500.
Miholic the 1-2 outside, and an even count.
See Bonamolo shorten the stride a little bit. 2-2. See if he can't go ambush a fastball.
Good take, full count.
Miholic has gotten in trouble. He just hasn't been able to locate that slider quite yet. He's thrown it for a strike, man. It is nasty, tough for Alabama to get out front. So if I'm Alabama, I'm taking away the heater. Make him throw a strike with a spinner.
Bonamolo lifts it high and deep into the gap in left center field. Bussey on the run, lays out and makes the grab. A superhuman effort in center field.
No words. Full extension. Look at Reggie Bussey. Flying through the air and stealing 2 runs off the board from Alabama. The Oakland transfer. How did he get there?
I think the most important thing, like easy to overlook because of how sensational that play was. You're right, it saves 2 runs. That was going to be extra bases, easy for Bonamolo. That's one of the deepest parts of the yard. So if it gets to the wall, he probably clears the base path with a triple.
But Gravelin's in a great spot out in left field, almost backing up that play in a sense. But Kate Snell's already standing at second base. That ball gets down. It's surely clearing the base path.
And now it's 0-2 to Bryce Fowler with 2 away. So first 2 reached for the Crimson Tide, and with the strikeout ability of Miholic in an 0-2 count. That turned to this side around for Ohio State. On the ground, Ellis has it at second. Side retired, 2 stranded. Ohio State, if they want to win the championship's got to win by 8. Preventing runs from scoring. Goes a long way in that effort. Reggie Bussey, wow, play of the weekend. Players to watch for the Buckeyes, presented by University of Alabama Online. Tyler Petterini, perhaps their best hitter in the lineup. Maybe my favorite player to watch in this tournament, Nick Jamarusti, who has just been a grinder the entire time. It's a little bit of a breather in the DH role today, but I guarantee you, Jack, his uniform will still be filthy by the end of today's game. And then Jake Miholic, the starting pitcher, who has gotten some help from his friends but has tossed a clean first couple of frames.
He's already stranded 4 Alabama Crimson Tide. With his stuff, I guess it doesn't matter how many guys he walks. He just continues to work out of damage. But with Jamarusti leading off this inning, I know that cinder block padded wall down in left field is really excited not to see Jamarusti running its way this afternoon. But the guy who's got 6 stolen bases, remember he scored on a pass ball from second base. He is instant offense, a catalyst for Justin Hare and company.
He will be the leadoff man for Ohio State. 7, 8, 9 in the order in the third inning here.
Darren, I know you're a walk-up guy too, but he's walking up to Here Comes the Rooster. How could you not love 7 of Ohio State?
Did you catch the play on his name there too? Roosty? That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's the little things.
One and one after a couple taken. Did you ever DH much? I'm curious your thoughts on if maybe it can kind of get you out of a rhythm.
I think it takes the right mental psyche. I did not. I was definitely recruited more for my defensive abilities, not so much with the stick. But man, getting to know and play with some really talented DHs, I feel like it takes a different guy to stay engaged. Like it almost defense for me served as like an outlet.
Jamarusti shoots it up into the air, deep right field, back, and caught at the track by Fowler.
It's a great swing from Jamarusti. Slider away. Talked about it all week, but man, he does a great job. It's a little bit of an unconventional stance, but staying stacked on the backside. He's such a quick twitch athlete that sometimes your fear is like you're so overzealous to go hit that the hands go first. This time, just the bottom half of that baseball nearly gives our friends working construction on that beautiful structure on right field a souvenir.
So clearly, at least in the early returns, Jamarusti pretty locked in as the hitter. Doesn't need to be in the field, it appears.
I'm gonna say his mental psyche I'm not too worried about.
Yeah, feels like he's going to be fine.
All right.
1-1 to Will Carpenter. Quietly a very good player for this Ohio State team. Hangs out in that 8th spot in the order.
And if you remember, making his first collegiate start as a Buckeye on Friday. 3 really quality at-bats. Remember, he had the sacrifice squeeze bunt that drew in a run and 2 singles. He's just a veteran player, high IQ.
Obviously reliable because he got that bunt down with 2 strikes.
Full count. Talked to Coach Hare after his first collegiate one. He's like, you liked that, didn't you? He's like, there's not many I'd trust to do it. Will Carpenter's one of those dudes.
Alcock the 2-2, ripped back. Up and in a bit, and another full count for Will Carpenter. You might be squaring here Reggie Bussey in the on-deck circle, the defensive hero in the last side. Carpenter watches strike 3, pound the inside corner.
Alcock's fastball, the velo is slowly but surely climbing. Sign of a veteran arm. 89-91, this one up to 92. But you can tell he's not really overthrowing, and this one just kind of stifles Carpenter. Perfectly placed on the inside corner.
Third punch out for Alcock. He's retired all 8 batters he's faced. This is the 9-hole hitter. I think the diving grab, the catch of the play of the weekend.
If Justin LeBron had made one of those two insane glove side into the 6-hole plays, that may have taken the cake. But to your point, and especially at this stage of the game, I'll take Reggie Bussey in that web gem over any we've seen so far.
And we've seen a lot of them. That's the thing. It's been a great week for guys with defensive prowess. Bussey rips it into right. You knew he was going to get a hit, right? That's baseball.
Well, isn't it the age-old adage, if he'd have let off the inning, he was going yard after making the play? Like, it's just go ahead and book it, yard card down. But confidence at an all-time high. This is a slider that Alcock is trying to bury on the back foot of Bussey. He misses. Bussey makes him pay.
Gets it back to the top of the order. Trey Lipsy, and you were singing along under your breath there to NBA Youngboy. I heard some in the crowd doing it too.
I think that's your sing-along aspect of the walk-up game that has become crucial. I think Columbus, Ohio is going to be singing NBA Youngboy from the rooftops this spring. I'm all in.
Lipsy 0 for 1, a ground ball to short to lead off things in the top of the first inning.
Really short lead.
Bussey 2 stolen bases. He's been caught once so far this season.
Leadoff guy up and try to get aggressive and send him. Lipsy to hit with runners in scoring position.
Finally, the first pitch in for Trey Lipsy, taken 1-0.
Bussey, who hit .336 for Oakland last year before he transferred over to the Big Ten powerhouse. He had a team-high 31 stolen bases, so he is much more so looking to pick up on some tendency, not as worried about a big lead.
Lipsy leaves it high, 2-0.
What I mean by that, too, like picking up the tendency, he's trying to find the nuance, right? Like, is it going to be a 1 look? Is it a 2 look? Is he slide stepping every other pitch? And then he's going to vault and go off of that first movement instead of trying to get this big lead, get a head start.
Called strike on the outer edge. Makes it 2 balls, 1 strike to Trey Lipsy. Dive back required of Bussey now as he kind of gets that read you're talking about, inches his way a little bit further.
Oh, you think they're concerned with Bussey taking off?
Yeah, he just deked them. That hard step on the secondary lead.
Something to keep out. Brady Neal, he comes up firing out the chute, a big pump fake. Shaking at that arm a little bit.
3-1, fouled back. Now another full count to Lipsy.
Also, like we bragged on Luke Nixon, Trey Lipsy moves up in the leadoff spot and has now worked back-to-back full counts, deep into the count, making Alcock work for it.
Full side shift with 2 strikes here. Full count, 2 away. Bussey's going to go on the pitch. And a timeout called. That's a pretty heady move. Lipsy's already worked Alcock to the full count. Got him concerned at Bussey at first base, so this is kind of dragged a little bit. Full count pitch. Ball 4.
Heck of an AB.
Great plate appearance. Puts him at first and second with 2 away. Lee Ellis, the next batter.
They've gone about it a different way than Alabama in the first 2 innings with a Tide getting guys on early, just haven't been able to cash them in. But we've seen Ohio State really capitalize with 2 outs. All of this action and traffic happening with 2 dead, and now Lee Ellis a chance to strike first.
Alcock will receive a visit. Couple of arms going in the bullpen for Alabama. Neither looks like they are especially ready to go.
Just playing catch. Zach Cottrell and Austin Morris. Remember, we only saw 44 pitches last night from Riley Quick. Up to 53 already for Bobby Alcock. We told you 2 years ago, this is what we're based off of, right? Didn't throw last year for Alabama due to injury. He's a Ks per 9 guy. We've seen those guys all weekend, whether it be Cullen McKay, who's tops in the country right now for Coastal. It's great to strike guys out. But when you've been thrusted into a starting role, which Alcock knows well, man, it's sometimes about getting ahead early, throwing at bats. He's found himself a little bit of trouble here in the third as Ohio State's done a good job of working counts and trying to get into that Crimson Tide bullpen early.
Lee Ellis, a fly ball to right off the 6th pitch, his first time up. First pitch swung on, line drive. That is a goner. Buckeyes on the board first, 3-0.
So nice, gotta see it twice. Lee Ellis, think he knew he got it? The Jacks Classic getting their money's worth with Lee Ellis. His second massive homer of the weekend to give the Buckeyes the lead. And how about Justin Hare rolling into the ballpark today going, hey, this team scored a lot of runs. Why tinker with that lineup, coach? I'll stick to my own up here. Lee Ellis slides into the 2-hole and a 3-run shot.
His second homer of this tournament. Both have been in instances where Ohio State has grabbed hold of a lead. Tyler Petterini lines one out to center field. Anamolo, they're shy of the warning track, and it retires the side, but not before the damage is done. Lee Ellis, his second home run of the Jacks Classic. Ohio State with the lead. The Jacks College Baseball Classic is a proud supporter of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Scan the QR code on your screen or visit jackscollegebaseballclassic.com and make a donation to help us add tomorrows to those living with the disease. 3-0. Ohio State strikes first against Alabama, the undefeated, both on the season and on the weekend, Crimson Tide. For Bama, a win would get them the tournament championship. For Ohio State, not just a win. They would need to win by 8 or more runs. A 3-run blast by their second baseman, Lee Ellis, a fine start to an effort in that direction.
Bobby Alcock hadn't surrendered a base runner. Took 8 batters, and then finally, Reggie Bussey with that run-saving catch. He knocks a single into right. Lipsy works a fantastic AB, and then Lee Ellis thrusts it into that 2-hole. Goes 3-run, big fly to left. I know social media is going to eat up these pimp jobs by Lee Ellis, the bat flip. And in a world where I think we're, for the most part, all on the same page, Darren, this isn't about the guy on the mound. This is about a young man whose journey has brought him to Columbus, Ohio, having fun, falling in love with the game, enjoying every second of playing for Justin Hare, emotion boiling over in both of his home runs this weekend. What a treat to watch Lee Ellis, his 3rd homer this season, man. What a blast.
Second baseman at the bottom of your screen there just a second ago. It's out in the shallow outfield grass against Justin LeBron, the first batter for Alabama. Now 3-0 to Justin LeBron, who struck out swinging his first time up. Has had a tough way to go at the plate in this Jacks Classic, but you can tell his demeanor, not worried. I think it's because, again, he team first, as we've discussed. LeBron knows that his moments are going to come. He's just got to let it come to him. Shoots that one up into the air. Shallow right. Ellis called off by the right fielder Lipsy. And that's one away.
He's more than used to at this point, as he has a few words for the Ohio State dugout on his way back. You're getting that preferential star treatment, right? You're starting to get treated a little bit different in the dish. You don't get that necessary 2-0, 3-1 fastball. This time it's a 3-1 slider. And Mahalik, who we talked about already with 3 free passes, that felt like a big first out.
Up and into Coleman Mizell, 1-0 the count. Another miss of the zone, 2-0. Now back. Just a heads up. Technical difficulties with our camera out in center field, so we're working to get that back up. You're seeing the high home with every pitch here. Mahalik sails it outside of the strike zone, so now 3-1 to Coleman Mizell.
Just wanted to give you a better look at that 94-mile-per-hour heater of Mahalik, who has lost no steam on the fastball. Now the second time through the lineup. Let's see how effective it still plays.
It's a called strike, and it brings the count full. Last time up for Mizell, he walked on 4 pitches. Mahalik's making this one a little bit more of an effort.
Always envied hitters like Mizell, who always seem to find themselves in hitter advantageous counts.
Yeah.
Always are able to work it back to full.
Little bloop into the opposite field. Gravel in there for the catch. Couple of fly balls, couple of outs.
Our track man at home, I think when you got a guy that's such a big, heavy fastball and he's so young, right? Like nothing he throws is straight. So even that pitch right there, you get a big cutting fastball. I'm not even sure he's gripping a cutter. I think it's just a forcing fastball that he's just letting loose. So even throw 2 out on the outer third, you get a good hitter to miss a barrel.
First pitch to Jason Torres is outside. He struck out swinging his first time up. That one high, 2-0.
He's got the 1 hit on the weekend. Came in blistering hot, but felt like that walk yesterday that he kind of fist pumped a little bit was the turning point.
Pounds it into the ground, foul.
Oh, how about this play by our bullpen catcher? Yeah, he's even ready to make a throw down there. We see you. Rocking the teal glove. He framed it up. I see you.
championship game. Everybody's locked in. And the pitch hits Torres. So he'll get first base freely with 2 away, and it brings up Will Hodo.
That didn't feel very good.
Yeah, that sounded bad from up here. That was a thud.
It sounded hollow, right? I think it missed that Evo shield. Yes, you're like, hey, that Evo shield gives you a little protection, less likely to move out of the way. You got it on, he's got the leg guard on, and it misses everything. And you're thinking to yourself, what, I got to come up here wearing catcher's gear next time? What's up?
Hodo fouled out his first time up. Did not come around on the swing, says third base umpire Chandler Durham.
Remember, all 3 of those runs from Ohio State coming with 2 outs. See if Alabama can return the favor.
Holik atop the strike zone, 2-0 to Hodo. But you mentioned it with Mizell. Hodo kind of the same. Just feels like he's always in hitter counts. Sees a strike.
Which was kind of to the point of our conversation with Coach Vaughn. He's like, he's just a pro's pro in everything he does in his preparation and the way that he approaches every at-bat, every defensive play.
Bounced into the rolled-up tarp in foul ground, 2-2.
Some great mentors to look up to and friends. His cousin Douglas, who was kind of the same ball player at Texas, now a pro.
From 2-0 to 2-2 with 2 away. Maholic ripped down the line. It's fair. A ricochet into the corner. Lipsy comes up with it and hits his cutoff. A double for Will Hodo. 2 in scoring position for the Crimson Tide.
Flex on him, Will Hodo. Slider catches far too much of the plate. Hodo's a little early, but that barrel in the zone for an hour and a half, it seems. And an easy head first slide into second base, and the Tide are cruising. But I would be remiss to mention there, it kind of takes an advantageous bounce off of that wall down the right, and Lipsy played it perfectly, preventing a run.
2 in scoring position for Brennan Norton. He's come up in a few different big spots for Bama this weekend.
He's always up, right? Like, it just feels like he's up in every big moment.
We had the conversation yesterday about how Rob Vaughn compared him to the 04 Red Sox Kevin Millar. With the clutch gene, he's a little more like their David Ortiz, too.
Yeah, okay.
The big poppy of the squad. He
does give off Dustin Pedroia vibes, not to stay on the Red Sox train, but like...
He's an amalgamation of all those guys. Yeah. Just put him in there.
Put him in a blender. Give us all the great Red Sox.
1-2. Chases. Swings and misses. Maholic gets the punch out to strand 2 in scoring position. Ohio State's got to win by 8 to take the title. They're up for the challenge.
This is the concert ticket, and the t-shirt you bought, and the wristband that the bouncer put on just a little too tight. This is the ride after the concert. To this place, Whataburger, where you ate these hash browns and drank this coffee with these people, your friends, and some guy named Rodney. No matter how your night starts, it should end with breakfast. Open 24/7 with breakfast served 11 p.m. to 11 a.m.
Back with you in Jacksonville. Everbank Stadium in the Jacksonville Jaguars facility right across from us here at VyStar Ballpark, home of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, the AAA affiliate of the Miami Marlins. Great hosts for this event now 2 years running. Don't worry, we're back next year for the 3rd annual Jack's Classic. In a game here, Jack, where we are going to find out who the champion of the 2nd annual Jacksonville College Baseball Classic is. Alabama can secure it with a win. If Ohio State wins, they have to win by 8 or more runs.
We're hoisted a belt, Darren. Do you think you can get one of these head coaches to scream Duval while they do it, though?
If anybody could do it, you could.
Okay.
Just throw a pencil in their face, and I'm sure they'll be up for it. Austin Morris is the first out of the pen for the Crimson Tide. Bobby Alcock finishes with 3 complete innings, and the only blemish, that 3rd, in which he gave up 3 runs all on one swing of the bat, a home run by Lee Ellis.
He was perfect through 8 batters. Reggie Bussey red hot after that diving catch. Lipsy works a 9-pitch at-bat walk. And then Lee Ellis puts a dent into this game. They turn it over to big number 99, the redshirt sophomore. I feel like a broken record. Every guy they bring out is 6'4", 210 to 215.
They got a type. Bama.
I was going to say, did Saban help recruit with Coach Vaughn on the staff? I mean, these guys are monsters on the mound. Morris, all kidding aside, though, man, he earned more playing time as the season wore on just a year ago. So only 14 appearances, but a lot of them in clutch time. Late in SEC play, in that SEC tournament, he was huge. Here's what really I love about the numbers, and it kind of tells you everything you needed to know. Last year, a 2-0 record. But he struck out 21 compared to only 9 walks. He's in and out of the zone, and for a bullpen piece, man, that's huge that you can rely on a guy like Austin Morris.
He begins Matthew Gravelin with a breaking ball that frisbees into the strike zone. Morris off the mark, 1-1 now. You know, Gravelin, I'm looking 1 of 9 when leading off an inning this season. Perhaps part of the reason they move him from that top spot in the order. He busts that one through on the right side. Okay, there you go. 2nd hit of the season, leading off a side for Ohio State for Matthew Gravelin.
Was such an aggressive hitter. Not to jinx us upstairs, but like he is going to live and die with who he is. So it's not necessarily a leadoff guy. Slider down, shoot it the other way, a great swing. He's going to, throughout the year, you go, hey, we're going to live and die with the approach. Like he's not going to necessarily take his walks throughout the season. He's a free swinger. He'll start the inning. It pays off.
Man on for Mason Eckelman, who fouls off the first pitch he sees, 0-1. He struck out his first time up, though it took 7 pitches. Fastball outside for Morris, 1-1.
I also love the idea of the duo behind the plate hitting 4-5 together. Obviously, with the USA Hockey Team rolling and the Bash Brother nickname being coined, I'm sure there's something I'm missing here with these two guys, but with Eckelman and Gravelin in the lineup.
Oh, Gravelin caught off balance, barely snuck back.
Dude, he vaults the minute that Morris picks off. I don't know how he gets back in time. It's insane athleticism from Gravelin, honestly, because we're watching upstairs going, there ain't no way he's getting back in time.
Morris in the opposite batter's box again, so now it's 2-1 to Eckelman. Gravelin not off balance that time, dives back safely. Gravelin just 1 stolen base attempt this season. What do you think this concern with him is about? Oh. Little flare up into center field. Bonamolo is there. That thing carried more than I thought. Off the bat, it looked like maybe a chance at a bloop single.
Well, I'll tell you why. That backside triple just hurt Mason Eckelman. He goes 109 off the bat to left center field yesterday. What was a bases clearing triple. Played him straight up in the infield, but right before that pitch, I actually noticed Bonamolo was playing almost 4 paces in that left center field gap, allowing him to get there with ease.
Called strike against Mark Stevens.
By the way, we almost did it again. What was the concern? Graveling with a little, like, false step.
Yeah.
I think he does have the ability to run. I just think the concern is Alabama going, we know how Coach Hare likes to play. We're going to treat everybody the same 1 through 9. It is interesting strategy, though. There's not really a Buckeye that gets a massive lead. I think it's all in that vault, right? So it's all about picking up timing on the guy on the mound. It's not a huge lead, but it's all about gaining momentum in your lead in that secondary.
Same pitch that got the strike just misses above the zone. 1-1 now to Mark Stevens. Ground ball to shortstop his first time up.
Big shift in the infield. All 3 defenders on the left side of the bag.
Morris really trying with that to sneak it in. That same pitch, 3-1 now the count. Ball 4. Another 2 aboard for Ohio State.
Same idea, that whole at bat. Still not enough sample size, in my opinion, to go ultra aggressive on the shift, but they did a great job throwing into the shift. Stevens wisely not getting too big. What we talked about, it feels like the common theme all weekend is not being too overzealous or anxious and taking your free 90s.
2 on, corners in for Alabama with 1 away. Nick Jamarusti watches the ball miss low and outside. There it is. Frisbee. Slider grooves back into the zone, 1-1.
So valuable to have a piece out of your bullpen, be able to come in and just start breaking off breaking balls for strikes.
I don't know if y'all can hear me, but I lost comms, so I'm working on it right now.
Tried to enter through the front door there. It started, almost behind Jamarusti.
Well, you can see, too, he's favoring the right side of the rubber because everything is coming right at that righty. So that fastball, it's coming out of the same tunnel as the slider. So as a right-handed hitter, man, it is really tough to pick up spin.
Fastball that time. Jamarusti leaves the bat on his shoulder. 2-2.
And at 94, right? See it toeing the right side of the rubber, man. A hitter, especially I'm sitting spin, 94 looks like 98.
With 2 strikes, Morris almost got him to come around on the slider. Jamarusti holds it.
It's not quite the Soto shuffle at the big league level. I don't know what we want to call the Jamarusti. It almost looked like I don't know what it was. It's like in a catcher squatting position at the end of that take.
Full count pitch. Jamarusti takes a close one, and it's ball 4.
He did it again. They tried to front door him with that slider. Those last 2 on 2-2 and 3-2 missing just off the plate. And Jamarusti, love the vision to sit on it, see it the other way.
Really, really good plate appearance there. Holy cow. The Ohio State team is so tentative. I started to say tentative. That's not the word. They are so patient and disciplined at the plate. That's what's leading to these small ball leads to big ball efforts.
It's pesky, right? Like pesky feels like the word. Because even remember yesterday in the 8th, heart of the order, we go, hey, this is not now or never because Coach Hare trusts 7, 8, 9 maybe just as much as he does the top. With 7, 8, 9, that helped them get back in that game yesterday. It's also what's helped them into the third Crimson Tide pitcher already this afternoon.
Morris exits, and the Tide call upon a lefty. The next 2-3 batters are left-handed hitters.
If you would like to donate to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation directly, then make your donations to Peak Events. Please notate donation in the subject line. Thank you so much for all your support.
So it's Bo Bryans that takes the mound for the first time this weekend. 4 batters faced for Morris. The leadoff single for Gravelin, and then 2 of the next 3 walked to get the Crimson Tide into this mess.
Similar last night, man, there was a plan. Alabama sticking to said plan, so they go to the junior southpaw who spent his first 2 seasons at Jones College. A Mississippi native is going to look to get them out of this mess.
Live look in at Round Rock. Minnesota and Oregon State getting set to begin the action there. Not quite underway yet. You could, of course, stream that exclusively on D1 Baseball. Aside from us, we know you've got a second screen somewhere.
Yeah, you do.
Pull it up, log in, fire it up. No better way to spend a Sunday. Get some other, maybe if you got a third or a fourth screen, fire up some more college baseball. I love this time of the year, by the way, Jack. I don't know if you get this. Old buddies that I used to play with who are college baseball fans, friends who you know, I've met in these college baseball circles who love this time of the year the way that we do. I love on a day like this, you get the picture sent to you via text, and it's your homie that's got 5-6 screens pulled up. Mine just this one that we're on just happens to be one of them, which is part of the reason for the shout out. But man, I love receiving those.
It is like 2 of them are on the ground. There's a laptop sitting in like the ottoman right in front of you.
Right.
Maybe trying to survive on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. We appreciate you hanging out with us.
Big spot for Ohio State. Again, to win the Jacks Classic Championship, they would not just have to beat Alabama today. They would have to win by 8 or more runs. They're up 3. They've got the bases loaded. First pitch to Will Carpenter is low and outside.
Darren, before we showed the live look-in, we talked about the duality of sitting and sticking to your plan. We talked about the last guy, right? Austin Morris on the right side of the rubber, big high 3/4 arm slot. Now they're going to the exact opposite type arm. Bo Bryans
fires it in there for a strike.
He, a low 3/4 arm slot, sits on that left side all the way on the rubber, trying to be a nightmare matchup for all lefties.
Again, way outside. Tough work for Brady Neal behind the dish. Now a 2-1 to Carpenter. He leaves it. 3 balls, 1 strike. Look, you're not going to get away with anything with these Ohio State hitters.
Do not get themselves out, which is, we talked about Austin Morris, the strikeout to walk ratio. Ohio State found a way to take a guy who doesn't walk guys and take their free passes.
Strike for Bryans makes it 3-2. Full count pitch to Carpenter. Left there for a called strike 3, 2 away.
You're wondering yourself, 3-1 and 3-2, what's Carpenter looking for? This is so difficult to pick up. This right center field angle is almost perfect. It's such a smooth delivery. The ball explodes out of his hand. He hides it so well that as a lefty, you're almost sitting slider because you know that's his bread and butter. And he just sneaks 2 fastballs by it.
Big spot just got even bigger for Reggie Bussey, the 9-hole batter. He's got a 1-0 count. Single and a run scored his first time up. He was the first base runner for Ohio State today. Then the Lipsy walk, the Ellis home run. That's how we got to 3-0. Bussey takes on the outside edge. It's 1-1.
Alabama's corners playing in fear of a potential bunt for a hit situation from Bussey, who we've already seen do twice this weekend.
No swing, now 2 strikes against him. This is quite the shift from Morris to Bryans. I mean, this is a much different look. Even from Alford for these guys who didn't see Morris. In the dirt, it bounces away from Neal. Here comes the runner, the throw, not in time. Ohio State scores another. Matthew Gravelin scoring from third base on the nearby ball that got away from Brady Neal.
Is it Matthew Gravelin or is it Michael Phelps? The ball beats him. How about this swim move around to sneak that big oven mitt as the Buckeyes steal a run?
Base knock would score 2 more for Bussey as he watches it outside and the count runs full.
I think this Buckeye team doesn't, like, hey, we refuse to make it easy on ourselves. We're only going to score with 2 outs.
I'm not getting my head in your field of vision, am I, if you can at all? No, you're okay.
Full count, 2 away, 2 in scoring position. Bussey bounces it up the middle. He's got speed. Norton the throw across. Not in time. Here comes a second run. They both score.
Buckeye branded baseball. Head on a swivel. This is a great play from Brennan Norton. This is as quickly as he can get rid of this baseball. Bussey beats him. Hodo caught him sleeping. How many times have we seen him do this weekend, Darren? They take that extra 90. That's the 3rd time that we have seen them go from second to home on a baseball that never left the infield. We saw him do it on a pass ball. We saw him do it on that infield bunt. This team is playing such exciting baseball with Justin Hare at the helm. Expect nothing less. Yes, it's small ball, but they're also leading the Jacks Classic in homers. And right now, for a team that has to win by 8 to hoist the belt, ooh, something is brewing in Columbus.
Something brewing in Jacksonville as well. 6-0. Ohio State. And now with 2 outs, they've got the top of the order. Reggie Bussey, the base runner at first. He's 2 for 2. 2 driven in, a run scored, and he's got that incredible catch from earlier in the game. Oh, dancing at first base, forces the throw and forces the error.
This is what they do. We have been so mightily impressed with Alabama, and there is so much baseball left to be played. But they are not going to let the big bad SEC deter them away from playing the style of baseball that they'd like. Reggie Bussey's at Oakland last year with 31 stolen bases, and he's the player of the game so far today.
I mean, that was sometimes the pitcher. It's a formality that you're throwing over to first and it gets away from you, right? Reggie Bussey generated that. He created that.
You're scratching your head going, Bo Bryans, bases loaded, 1 out. He gets the must-have punch-out. A ball in play and Ohio State scores with less than 2. He gets the punch-out. The job is done. Ball barely trickaways from Brady Neal. An electric slide from Gravelin. And all of a sudden, like, without hitting the ball out of the infield, they clear the bases.
It is what they do. We've seen it all weekend. And now you got 3-0 to Trey Lipsy with Lee Ellis, who already hit a 3-run home run in the on-deck circle.
This is the second offensive timeout taken by Lipsy. This is not just scream, savvy senior vet. Like, 3-0. He took the last one 0-2. Like, this is my box, by the way.
Bryans finds the strike zone. It's 3-1. Bussy a walk and a ground ball today. Bryans misses well inside. It is ball 4, and again the side is extended with a Trey Lipsy walk that allows Lee Ellis to step up with 2 on.
I got a weird feeling we're going to see Trey Lipsy in that leadoff spot the rest of the season for Justin Hare. Back-to-back at-bats with a walk. In his first at-bat, he grounds out to LeBron on a 97-mile-per-hour ground out. He is just a model of consistency in that leadoff spot for the Buckeyes.
3-run blast the last time up for Lee Ellis. Takes, and it's a 1-0 count. 364 feet, 105 miles per hour off the bat. Ellis, the 8th batter of this frame for Ohio State. Tyler Petterini, the lone and 9th to step up in the on-deck circle. 2-0, opposite field. That's going to get down. Bussy is across easily, and it is 7-0 Ohio State.
That's the difference. I made mention to that. I don't know how many fastballs Lee Ellis is going to see again. This is a sinker away, and he doesn't get too big. This is a young sophomore, the #1 recruited player out of the state of Maryland. He goes to the SEC juggernaut, the South Carolina Gamecocks. He transfers into Ohio State, and we are watching the underclassmen grow up right in front of us. Yes, we've seen the 2 massive home runs to give the Buckeyes a lead, not only today, but the other as well. But this, to me, to be able to take this sinker and drive it the other way, veteran AB from the sophomore Ellis.
Runners are at the corners, and another Crimson Tide reliever has been chased. Aiden Moza, the senior, on next for the Crimson Tide. Tyler Petterini is about to be the 9th batter of the inning for Ohio State. Moza is about to be the 3rd pitcher of the inning for Alabama.
You've done a beautiful job informing the individuals of how, Bama wins, we're hoisting a belt. Ohio State has to win by 8. Improbable, without question. Impossible, I say no. You don't think Justin Hare's group knows what's at stake today? That the Jacks Classic in just week 2 of the college baseball season means a little bit more? 7-0 in the 4th.
You said it. They've scored 8 or more runs in every game this season and somehow have come away with just 1 win. They're about to get to 8 again, and it's just the 4th inning.
Now, the caveat, with 1 win on the season, the struggles in the bullpen very evident. This game insanely far from over for an Alabama team that's run ruled. It feels like everyone imaginable coming into the Classic. They've been, to us, maybe by far the most impressive team we've seen. High regard of talking about their ability to potentially be that underdog Kentucky story that made a run to Omaha last year. That's how we've talked about Rob Bond's group. But these 2 head coaches we joked about the idea of they could be twins, the way their jargon, the way that they interact with their players, they're so beloved. I do not count Alabama out for 1 second, but don't you dare not be a believer in this Ohio State team after the weekend. We talked to KP about it on the broadcast yesterday. That sweep last week against Arizona State was a fluke, man. This team is a fighting team. This is not the Buckeyes of old. And just these highlights here are showing you, man, hey, we are going to live and die by thy identity. And with one leading the way, I feel pretty good about their chances.
Moses' first offering to Tyler Petterini is a called strike. Second appearance of the season for Moza. He's tossed an inning prior to this. No runs, no hits, 2 walks and 3 Ks. Petterini skies it out. Deep right center field. Put your hard hats on. More runs across for Ohio State.
Elevate, celebrate. 4-2, going 420 to right center. Tyler Petterini. For college football fans, let us introduce you to the sport that'll have you on the edge of your seat. 2 proud football programs, sure. It's a tutty and a field goal. I'll speak your language, and the Buckeyes need to win by 8. Up by 10 in the 4th. Are you kidding me?
Matthew Gravelin with his second plate appearance of the frame swings and misses at the first pitch. It's 7 runs in this 4th inning for the Buckeyes. Gravelin singled and came around to score on a wild pitch earlier in the 4th inning here. Moza the 1-2. Gravelin lays off and it drops in for strike 3. That retires the side, but a 7 spot for the Buckeyes. They're up double digits.
The University of Alabama Online, where legends log in. A tradition of excellence. Choose from over 100 affordable degree and certificate programs that fit your budget and schedule. Earn the same degree as you would on campus, with the same affordable tuition rate for every state. UA Online. Advance your career and change your life. Get started today at online.ua.edu.
The Jacks College Baseball Classic is presented by Peak Events, home of the best outside of Omaha. Follow at Peak DOT Events on social media to keep up with the best in early season college baseball. Well, we have an exciting one on our hands. 10-0 in favor of Ohio State with an 8-run victory or more, of course, over Alabama. They would propel themselves to a spot of victory, to a spot of being awarded the championship belt given to the winners of the Jacks Classic. Alabama was the only team in the field to enter 2-0 today. It entering, but because of those circumstances, was regarded a long shot. And Ohio State, the Buckeyes, have turned that on its head.
You're coming into this matchup, you're Justin Herron, Ohio State, in your first season, trying to reclaim a little bit of glory to this historic baseball program. Going, hey, a win over an Alabama team would do wonders.
Petterini from third, rockets a throw across. That's the first away. He just hit that big 3-run home run to make it a double-digit lead prior to the break. And he retires Cade Snell.
I go back to my train of thought, but not before I brag on this rocket of an arm. Are you kidding me with this throw? Cade Snell out of the left-handed batter's box, boogieing down the line. You got a cannon cut? We see you 4-2. Hit bombs, throw hard. I'm all in. But a win today against an Alabama team there would do wonders for their RPI down the road. But there's a reason that those chandeliers out in Vegas are as big as they are. We are only talking about that 8-run lead because you have to have a win to hoist the belt. And in the back of your head going, man, that would be something, wouldn't it? They're in the driver's seat, folks.
Jake Miholic misses up and outside 2-1. This, by the way, an Alabama team that's looked so good this weekend. There's been discussion up here at the press box about, are they ranked coming out of this Jacks Classic? All four. Brady Neal will take his base, and it puts a runner on for Bama with one away.
Again, a lot of baseball left to be played. Man, what a come from behind victory would do for their top 25 chances. I think they've shown us enough to at least be receiving some votes come tonight, leading in tomorrow morning's standings release. 10-0 loss, though, probably puts a little bit of dent in those probability.
Richie Bonamolo 0 for 1 with a fly out to center field. That was the spectacular catch, play of the weekend, made by his center field counterpart Reggie Bussey in the second inning. Pitching coach for Ohio State, Tyler Robinson, pretty quick to pop out of the dugout after that last pitch by Miholic.
We've got the OU transfer warming in the pen, Luke Carroll. A long time, right? 3 different pitchers used. Not only is it about, hey, trying to knock off a little bit of rust, it's got like almost a mini rain delay since we saw Miholic last. But the leash is going to be short. We talked about the struggles of that Ohio State bullpen, but for Miholic, who's been a strikeout phenom so far through this one, stuff has spoken for itself. But as we are nearing what will now be the 3rd time through the lineup for Alabama, a lot of these conversations between arm and pitching coach is really scouting report as well.
Just off of the strike zone, 2-0 to Bonamolo now. There's a strike from Miholic. He's had runners on base against him in all 3 frames prior to this and escaped with none of them crossing. 2-2.
He's been a magician, Houdini-esque, working out of the jams that he's kind of built for himself. Pair walks in the first, walking a single to start up the second. Alabama left 6 guys on base, all of them coming with less than 2 outs, just have not been able to capitalize. And I give just as much credit to Miholic than everybody. I know there are a couple at-bats that Bama wish they had back, but Miholic's stuff has been nasty.
Full count fouled back, and Bonamolo is going to see another. Ball 4 high. And that's consecutive walks, 2 on for the Tide for the top of the order now.
I think he just feels more comfortable with 2 runners on base. That must be it.
Yeah.
In the third, he hit a guy and then gave up a double. He just wanted to make sure that he'd go from the stretch. He likes feeling the pressure with his back up against the wall. The sophomore making just his second career start against the Alabama Crimson Tide. He goes, I think I feel more comfortable throwing against SEC teams. Coach, this is good.
A call for strike against Bryce Fowler. I mean, to your point, in the first, the second, and the third, 2 runners stranded. Strike on the outside corner. Beautiful pitch. Now he's got Fowler down 0-2.
No steam off the heater. Fastball slider 93 to 82. That 9 to 10 mile per hour differential. Exactly what you want out of your weekend starters.
Shot way up into the air. Ellis makes an early call from second base, and that's 2 away.
Been really impressed with the former Southern Miss Eagle making his way to Alabama. Is another guy that's just gotten better year in and year out, starting in the Sun Belt, goes and plays junior college baseball. And as a Tide, man, he is locked in. He just gets underneath this baseball. Catches a clean barrel, gone out of an elevator shaft, but it leads to that dude that we just feel like is ready to burst out of the seams.
Justin LeBron 0 for 2, strikeout and a fly ball. Two on, 2 away. Feels like we've said that a lot with Miholic throwing and Ohio State defending. LeBron, a blast. Deep center field. Goodbye. There he is, right on cue. And the Crimson Tide get 3 runs back.
Well, that looked different, didn't it? I hate for our friends in the world of construction, because I think he just tore down that cinder block wall.
That's another week or 2 of work.
Deepest part of the ballpark, he makes it look like Williamsburg. This is slight work. We said he's been a little frustrated. He's getting that superstar treatment now. He's going to get pitched backwards. He's not going to see fastballs. But with a 10-run lead, you can start to pitch with a lead a little bit. Not so fast. Fastball at the top of the zone. An absolutely rocketed ball out of this spot. I'm still looking. I don't even know if Trackman caught it.
Yeah, I think it might have missed the numbers. Sometimes when it's hit too hard, that happens. When it goes too far, that happens too.
Well, but this, I just know that I'm not going to believe it. Folks, this is the deepest part of the ballpark, and that ball was a line drive. That's not one of those towering fly balls that we've gotten throughout the weekend. That was a laser.
Miholic with a 3-1 to Coleman Mizell. And the bounce back attempt. For reference, dead center field is 405 feet. That's to the left of your screen. Mizell swings through it. It's a full count. So you go back even deeper to get to that corner where the walls meet, coming from right and into center. Ball 4, Mizell walks to follow up the 3-run home run from Justin LeBron.
There, we got 13 runs on 9 hits today. We've got 3-run homers. You think the stars showed up? Ellis, Petterini, LeBron. Or in a minor league ballpark, I think the Miami Marlins would be nuts. Justin LeBron's got superstar written all over him. That is one of the most insane home runs I've ever seen hit in my life.
Sweeps away from Jason Torres, 1-0 after the take. Yeah, I don't know that we're getting a number on that, buddy.
I know.
I keep looking down for an update. It's not coming. Hard on the ground and through the left side. Torres with a base knock. Keeps going for the Crimson Tide. They've got him at first and second with 2 away.
Talk about winning the zero battles. You get a 7 spot. That is a crooked number in the top half. Go and get a 0. Your ball club feels good. Don't have to get it all back at once, but if you're Alabama, you go, all right, cool. Like, we're starting to see it. Just keep going to work. Keep going to work. And with 2 outs, they finally are able to break through. We told you. Maholic had been flirting with danger.
And here comes Tyler Robinson again, Buckeyes pitching coach. Will Hodo will be the batter for Alabama, but it doesn't look like he will be Maholic's batter to face. It appears to be Zev Salzberg, the freshman, from our friends up north, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. He'll be the first out of the pen.
Salzburg being handled quite the lofty task. This has been an Ohio State pitching staff that is to no stranger struggled this season, but a freshman on a fairly large stage, the Ontario native, was named a Canadian Premier Baseball League All-Star in both 2022 and 2023. A 1.19 ERA, fanning 33 and 30 in the third just a season ago at the A3 Academy. He's an older freshman, a really athletic kid, a two-way stud. But now you're in kind of strange waters where you're now tasked with handling Will Hodo, and just even feeling like leaving it at 3 this inning seems like a win for Ohio State.
Salzburg has tossed 1/3 of an inning so far this season. In his lone appearance, he faced 2 batters, gave up a double, and got the out he needed to get.
Salzburg, it's a fastball slider mix. You saw him just throw that changeup, though. That righty-lefty spot. I'm not sure if this is going to be like a changeup heavy matchup with a Hodo at the plate, but to me, it's a long, wiry kid, smooth delivery. I want to see him challenge him with some heaters, but it does. It feels like a really precarious moment in this game, just in the bottom of the 4th, but you mentioned the double and the punch out to get out of that inning against Arizona State. They're going to ask him to eat up these middle innings, and it really all starts with getting up to a quick start against Hodo.
And he's hit by the first pitch. Off of that elbow guard like a bell, and it loads the bases for Brennan Norton.
Confirmed, not a quick start. Hodo. I feel like he's on base every single time he steps up to the dish.
2 of 3 so far today.
I'm telling you, it's just always around the base path, and this guy always in the big moments.
Walking a strikeout so far in 2 plate appearances for Brennan Norton. And he looks at a first pitch strike.
Fastball up to 91 for Salzburg.
Norton skies it. Deep left field. Graveline there, right at the wall, leaps up and makes the catch. A robbery to keep it at a 7-run lead.
Da-da-da, the backstop. Playing thief at the Jacks Classic Day 2. Where else are you going to see this all? Peak Event D1 baseball as good as it gets.
Ran up by the Lux when that's up the highest metric. The city just made it sweet, you could diabetic. They mouths were full of deceit, let these cowards tell it. Walk in New Orleans with the etiquette of LA yelling. Second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it.
What a game. The Jacks College Baseball Classic is presented by Peak Events, home of the best outside of Omaha. Follow Peak DOT Events on social media to keep up with the best in early season college baseball. It's 10-3. Ohio State with the lead and battle. Matthew Graveline robbed Brennan Norton of what would have otherwise been a grand slam prior to the break. We have seen spectacular play after spectacular play, clutch hit after clutch hit in this one. Jack DeLongchamp, Darren Vaught with you on D1 Baseball. I mean, if you're here, I don't know how you're going anywhere else for now anyway.
What else are you looking for, I guess? You want to talk about this ballpark playing different, though, from Friday to Saturday, Sunday. Brennan Norton's such a big, strong, physical young man.
Swing and a miss. Mason Eckelman requires a throw to first, but he strikes out for the first away.
It didn't look like off the bat it had a chance. Graveline doing a great job reading it, finding the wall, and that's a catcher out in left field. A counterpart to the Bash brothers. And not only is it massive of maintaining that lead and a comfortable lead at that, but you got to remember we're playing math up here about what that implications look like going into the tiebreaker if Ohio State wants to hoist the belt. You got to win by 8, and now with just a 7-run lead. Don't think that Justin Hare doesn't know that his squad has got 1 run to try to push back across.
Full side shift being played, and Mark Stevens shows bunt, pulls it away. Ohio State would need to win by 8, so the champion is determined by best overall record. Obviously, if they beat the Crimson Tide, that makes both teams 2-1. Ohio State would have the head-to-head.
Talking with some officials here.
Well, because there's a chance in our later game another team could get to 2-1.
I'm not saying we bit off more than we chew, but I think there may be more math than we anticipated, which has got to be terrifying for all baseball people, right? But with Coastal Carolina being 1-1 as well, If NC State wins, I believe it's all null and void.
Correct.
2-1, it wouldn't matter.
Correct.
And this head-to-head would be all that mattered from a run differential standpoint.
But the run differential matters because if Coastal Carolina also finishes at 2-1,
yeah,
that's where that third tiebreaker comes in.
And they're at about a -5 right now.
Popped up, foul ground. Neal runs out of room, and it keeps the count full to Mark Stevens. So, essentially, if Ohio State wins by 8 or more runs, they win the whole shebang. I think that's where we are.
I feel good about that. We've said it all game.
Yeah.
There have been some question marks and eyebrows raised because we said it. Probability not likely, but not impossible.
On the ground over to first. Hodo handles it himself, and Mark Stevens goes down for out number 2.
So now that the improbable has become reality, I think people are starting to go back.
Yeah, we're officials for the tournament here are double checking tiebreaker scenarios.
Just being sure. We got a shot, folks.
I do not envy those people. For the record.
I think the mathematicians were probably hoping Brennan Norton's home run landed on the street.
Bunt pulled away by Nick Jamarusti, 1-0. I mean, look, we've been saying it all weekend. He's been the guy who has come up big in that spot for Alabama.
Oh.
It's just reachable enough for Graveline.
I feel like I got to take a breather.
Yeah, I just did.
We had a 10-run fourth inning.
Between the two teams, correct.
13 runs on 10 hits and pretty clean defensively. Talk about taking advantage of mistakes.
Clean plus, because we've seen 2 plays with Raveline's robbery and Bussey's catch in center field. Like 2 plays that neither one would surprise me if it was number 1 on SportsCenter.
I'm with you. Also, the idea that you're taking about 4 runs off the board as well. Oh, how good are our officials upstairs. All right, here's the deal. I'm going to hand this to you, but I think we've got some.
Jamarusti fanned for out number 3. We've got some clarification for tiebreaker rules, is what you're saying. I will describe that to you, but we return 10-3 Ohio State leads. The Jacks College Baseball Classic is brought to you by D1Baseball.com. No one covers college baseball like D1 Baseball. Covering every game from coast to coast, D1 Baseball is the resource no college baseball fan can be without. All right, so we've got some clarification, Jack, on tiebreaker rules. And it favors the Buckeyes. So the champion is determined by best overall weekend record, right? Obviously, that's what we're trying to sift through because multiple teams are likely at this point to have the same record. If 2 teams end the weekend with the same record, then it will be determined by head-to-head results of those 2 teams. If 3 teams end the weekend with the same record, which is the complication here with the possibility of Coastal Carolina finishing 2-1, then it will be determined by the greatest run differential of the 2 games played against one another. So you take the trio of teams. The 4th would be out. So in this hypothetical scenario, you don't include games against NC State for any of the 3 teams. And then it goes to run differential. The game 1 against the winless opponent would not factor. And if 2 teams end up with the same run differential, then it goes back to head-to-head between those 2. So Ohio State, as a result of that, only needs to win by 5.
So, for fans that think we're crazy, we're not. The only added caveat is the removal of NC State in the breakdown. So it's really not as crazy as it sounds if you think about it.
Ohio State is up 7. Cade Snell is at the plate for the Crimson Tide. This has had game of the year potential. Goodness. Snell powers a single through the middle, and the leadoff man is on for Bama.
Game of the year potential. Game of the year candidate and Tim. We're just at the halfway mark. Just getting started.
Pretty incredible. Snell 2 for 3 on the day now. I think I misspoke just a second ago. 7-8-9 up for Bama. Which means it's Brady Neal time. A strikeout and a walk in his 2 plate appearances so far. Two 2-0 the count to Neal. Zev Salzberg still the guy for Ohio State. And now it's 3-0.
Nobody warming that Ohio State pen. Salzberg, the Canadian. Told you they're going to ask him to eat up these middle innings and try to bridge it to the back end.
Neal gets his strike. I feel the need to elaborate on the tiebreaker. So, Ohio State wins by 5, they win it all. If the Buckeyes win by 4 or fewer, that one's shot up into the air. Bussey all over it and center. And it's the first out. Runner stays put. If the Buckeyes win by 4 runs or fewer, Alabama would win the title only if Coastal Carolina beats NC State to activate that 3-team tiebreaker. Otherwise, if only Ohio State and Alabama are the 2-1 teams, then it goes to head-to-head, and Ohio State in that instance would win.
Okay.
So if it's 4 or fewer runs, the victory for Ohio State, then we got to wait and see the result of the next game.
So, because we got a lot of Sunbelt fans in our mentions right now. With no clear path for the Chanticleers, they are just playing spoiler.
Correct. No chance. Coastal Carolina can finish tied with these two at 2-1, but cannot come out of the tiebreaker as victorious.
Well, we're hoisting a belt after game 1 today. Oh.
Maybe.
Hey. Going caveman on us. Too much math for me upstairs.
Richie Bonamolo is now the batter for Alabama. And he looks at a strike. It's 1-2. My head hurts a little bit now.
I still, my heart is racing still from the Gravelin home run robbery. I'm also still thinking about the Justin LeBron home run that was hit 127 miles per hour.
Bonamolo just got a piece of it. He'll keep his 1-2.
Fans that are just joining us, if you miss anything, just know that Justin LeBron swings a tennis racket and hit a baseball so hard that not even the best technology in the world picked it up.
Two and two to Bonamolo. And he fights off another. This will be pitch number 7 coming his way. And now it's a full count. I've got good news.
Talk to me, brother.
After this pitch. Full count. Bonamolo off the handle. That's going to make its way out of play, and he stays alive with a full count. 8 pitches deep, Bonamolo. This will be pitch number 9. We have confirmation of numbers on the Justin LeBron home run.
Yeah.
109 miles per hour off the bat.
I don't believe it.
Dead center field, though. Get this.
Okay.
438 feet.
Dude, I've not seen a baseball get out to that part of the ballpark that quickly. That was a laser.
Nicked foul by Bonamolo.
109?
109.
Okay. Man, really, we just kind of kept looking around, watching him all week, just the way that he moves and carries himself. We're all seeing this, right? Coach Vaughn goes, every time he pulls into the dugout, you go, all right, we got it, we're good. We got Bronny.
Bonamolo lofted up Bussey's way in center field. Out number 2. Bonamolo 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. But remember, he was robbed by Bussey on that first plate appearance of his. That was on the 6th pitch. He then walked on 7 pitches. And that fly ball was after 10.
3 quality at-bats.
Yeah, very.
I've had coaches, and I loved it, where like if you become too stat-oriented, right, where you're results-driven, this game becomes really difficult. Now, when you have a hitting coach go, hey, let's just simplify this. You go see 6 more pitches, that's a quality at-bat. Hit a ball over 95 exit velo, that's a quality at-bat. We cannot control the controllables. Bonamolo, right, putting together a 3-for-3 quality day.
Bryce Fowler rips it, but foul. That was not far from sneaking inside the pole. Certainly had the distance.
He's really impressed this week. He was kind of like the Robin to Batman with LeBron. I think that's an unfair comp because he's been just a freaking stud in his own right. Hitting 370. OPS over 1,000. Same deal, like the way that he carries himself, very big league. And he's a great story for a lot of high schoolers that want to play college baseball. He's from Mississippi, starts his career at Southern Miss, a redshirt, doesn't play a ton of sophomore year, goes the junior college route, bought his time, was patient, hit 419 at the junior college level, and now he makes his way into the SEC and he continues to dominate.
Takes ball 4 outside.
You know what I mean? Like, we're in such an old man's game, and we live in a microwave society where everyone wants success instantaneous. He had to wait. This is his 4th year of college baseball, and sometimes it's about finding the right system over maybe the best school, and that's not to say that it just wasn't a right fit at Southern Miss. Southern Miss is one of the most prestigious schools in the country, the Pete and Hattiesburg. But he makes his way into Tuscaloosa, and he is looking like maybe a budding superstar in the SEC.
Back to Justin LeBron, who takes a strike, 3-run home run, a missile off of the work-in-progress structure, dead center field. High hit, drifting into foul territory. Will someone have a chance? Stevens from shortstop slides in the bullpen and grabs it. Are you kidding me? Every play tops the last one as the play of the day. This is an incredible game. Ohio State's got to win by 5 or more. They lead it 10-3 through 5.
Hi, I'm Bob, or Breakfast on a Bun. I answer to both. My brother, Bob Ranchero. Hey, he's always been the wild one.
Howdy!
We're actually twins. Same signature sausage, fresh egg, and melty cheese. But that picante salsa and pickled jalapenos, it changes you. We're still close. He does call me regular Bob, though, which is a little hurtful.
Ten to 3, Ohio State leads as we've got some Squid Game looking stuff going on as an on-field promotion. We appreciate you joining us here on D1 Baseball. Jack the Longshot, Darren Vaught. This has been an incredible game. We have determined that Ohio State, given tiebreaker rules in place here at the Jacksonville College Baseball Classic, with a win of 5 runs or more, would win the Jacks Classic championship for the Buckeyes. But if they win it by 4 or fewer, Alabama would win the title, but only if Coastal Carolina beats NC State later today to force that 3-way tie at 2 wins and 1 loss. Because otherwise, without the 3-way tie, it goes to the head-to-head, and obviously Ohio State would win it given their victory over Alabama in that hypothetical scenario, which is not come to completion because we're only in the top of the 6th inning.
Darren, I think we have to have a completely honest conversation, though. The hoisting of belt and the MVP trophy, like, all of that is great, but the Jacks Classic, peak events in D1 baseball are about to have a first on their hands. We're about to have 6 plays on top 10 tonight from this sole ball game. This is nuts.
It really is. Will Carpenter leads things off. It's 8-9-1 for Ohio State. 2-0 the count. It's funny, our friend Chris Mikoski, who's doing the play-by-play at Round Rock, tweeted after the Reggie Bussey diving catch in the gap in left center, and as if to say, you know, oh my, this will be the best thing you see today. And at the time, we said the exact same thing. I mean, that's one of, depending on your taste, that might be the 4th or 5th most exciting play we've seen.
Mark Stevens just went up against the metal bleachers behind his back Willie Mays style, and in foot-first slide catches it with his palm up. That's the best play in a game over the weekend in college baseball. That might be the 5th best play we've seen today.
Called strike makes it a full count to Will Carpenter. 0 for 2. He's looked at strike 3 twice. Finally, he gets a ball 4 call as he watches the final pitch. And Carpenter takes his base. Leadoff man is on for Ohio State for just the 2nd time today. The first time, it was in the 7-run 4th. Here's Reggie Bussey, 2 for 2. 2 driven in, 2 runs scored. Get it down foul.
Torres just playing about 5 paces in over at third base, but a little bit of peculiar defensive alignment right now. You've got your outfield shifted left to right, big gap out in right center. But the infield, you got Norton pinched in double play depth over at second base. Huge hole over in that 3-4 hole, which is where we've seen Bussey already with a hit today.
Squares and whips the bunt back to make it 1-1.
Now, it might just be their bunt defense where Norton's going to be set up with a potential force out at second base. He'll be the guy to almost play one bagger over there. But they are selling out right now on the bunt.
Bussey pulls it back, but it's a called strike. Now 1-2. Goes up and chases high, swing and miss Strike 3 for out number 1.
Love the back pick from Brady Neal. It's the perfect time for it. Heads up play by Carpenter. Get back in time. And a rare strikeout from Bussey.
Back to the top of the order. Trey Lipsy has walked in both of his last 2 plate appearances. Come around to score both times as well. 0-1. Lee Ellis into the on-deck circle. Ellis, the biggest bat so far today for Ohio State, 4 driven in.
Nice pitch from Moza. Big sweeping 12-6 breaking ball.
Makes it 1-2. They're going to go to the poolside shift now with Torres jogging across LeBron at shortstop. LeBron's the lone man on the left side of the infield. Another fanned batter. Trey Lipsy can't connect. That's 2 away.
Since entering this game, Moza, who started his career at UAB, started 3 games this season ago, but came out of the pen. He was another one of those guys, really similar to Austin Morris with a strikeout to walk ratio, 40-19. Sometimes you almost throw too many strikes, though. Saw the big homer, but he has really started to find a groove in the 5th and 6th.
Lee Ellis 2 for 3, home run and an RBI single. He's driven in 4 and looks at strike 1. Breaking ball snaps in. Now 2 strikes on Ellis, who has a team high 8 runs driven in this season for the Buckeyes. Chases, and that is 3 consecutive punch outs for Moza to strand the leadoff walk at first. No runs for the 2nd straight frame for Ohio State, yet they lead by 7. The Jacksonville College Baseball Classic here at VyStar Ballpark. Some levity to a very tense game with the Dizzy Bat Race.
I feel like I'm still spinning as we've got stumbling, tumbling young man right at the finish line. That's not going to be us, though. We're going to run strong through that.
Yeah, we're going to stay on our feet through the finish of this exhilarating game. Ohio State 10, Alabama 3. If you are not privy to all the circumstantial stuff around this game, you might just say, okay, a ho-hum 7-run ball game. Not so fast. Ohio State needs to win by 5 or more to secure the Jacksonville College Baseball Classic championship. If they don't, then we've got to watch how the later matchup comes out between Coastal Carolina and NC State. A lot of moving parts. Also, the play generally. I mean, if this was an in a vacuum 10-3 contest, it still would be maybe the most exciting baseball game I've seen in a couple of years.
Well, these two schools are hip to football scores. So the 10-3, they're like, hey, we're just one drive, one possession away from getting back in this game. And with the way that these offenses have clicked, I wouldn't tend to doubt them.
Coleman by Zell, hard hit grounder up the middle. Lee Ellis there and gets it to Carpenter.
It's my mistake. I'm having some trouble calling.
Good swing from Mizell. There's so much conversation about the bat on the Ellis, but he has made a couple plays with the leather to his left, to his right. He's a middle infielder, really athletic young man, or played a lot of shortstop in high school, but second base feels like, because of these shifts that we've seen, his ability to go as rangy as he is, or be out in shallow right field or through the middle, really valuable at that two-bagger spot.
Big swing. Jason Torres goes down 0-1. 1 for 2. He's been hit by a pitch. Singled more recently in the fourth. Trips outside 2-1. Weak pop-up, foul territory, and a catch made by Eckelman.
It makes this play look a lot easier than it is. You kind of see it almost knuckling off the handle of Torres. Kicks the mask early, knowing it's not like a prototypical catcher fly ball where you got time to clear the mask, set your feet, turn your body so you're catching those revolutions cleanly into the mitt. This one he almost overruns because almost the sound is deceiving because you're almost blind until you get your eyes on it. Been really impressed with not only Eckelman, but Gravelin's, I guess, been okay catching fly balls today, too.
Robbing Brennan Norton earlier in the game of a grand slam that would have pulled it within 3. Woodrow watches one miss, slowing in. So now it is 3-0. 1 for 2 with that double in the third inning. He got stranded at second base, though. In terms of hit balls that have registered in-house. Oh, he tossed the bat aside, a called strike. Now it's 3-1. In terms of batted balls that have registered in-house, he has the second hardest hit ball of the day on that extra base hit, 106.7 off the bat. That, of course, trails the 109 off the bat for Justin LeBron's home run. 3-1, shot up into the air. Bussey back, shy of the warning track. He's got it and reels it in. 3 up, 3 down in the 6th inning for Alabama. Still a 7-run lead for Ohio State. They need to win by 5 or more to secure a championship. So now, Jack, it is time for our Jack's Classic Trivia. from the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. You are, what, 4 for 4 through 4 games, right?
Oh, Darren, humble brag. Don't do it to me.
In what year did Ohio State win their first national championship in baseball? I feel like the streak might end here.
So, Darren, they actually flashed this here at the stadium about an inning ago, and because this is a hands-up broadcast, I did not feel good about it. And I have not looked it up. Because I was even unaware in the first place, so this is kind of showing my end that Ohio State has ever won a national championship, nevertheless their first one, I feel a bit and slightly embarrassed. I'm going to date all the way back and go, well, 1954 feels good, but the summer of 69, just because I'm pandering to maybe a little bit of a musical trivia background.
That's actually what the song's about, I hear.
The summer of 69. Yeah, the Buckeyes won in the summer of 69. I'll go 1969, but this is, without question, the least confident I have been about our trivia question. I fear that the streak comes to an end. Do you have a guess? You've played with me at times.
Yeah, I believe Ohio State has only won one national.
Well, then the wording is deceiving. When did they win their first?
A little bit, yeah. I like your guess.
54 is where my instincts tell me, because I just really, hey, hand up, Buckeye fans. I didn't know. That's on me.
But see, also, as a matter of like from a test-taking standpoint, I'm never inclined to go with the
biggest,
most recent or the earliest.
Yeah.
I want to go with 66 or 69 there.
Yeah.
You went with 69. I'll say 66.
Okay.
And so those are locked in, and we'll check that out.
Yeah, dude. Hey, for those that don't know, I'm sitting with El Profesor. He's Doctor. He's a Mr. Academia himself. So I'm with you. And all students out there, did you hear him? When in doubt, always go see. That's basically what he just said.
In so many words, yeah. I also suggested that Bryan Adams drew inspiration from the Ohio State Buckeye baseball team in his songwriting.
Can you imagine if it actually was, though?
It would be too good. Too good. Ohio State at the plate. They've got a new arm to deal with in lefty Tate Robertson, who's thrown an inning and a third, given up 2 runs on 2 hits, including a home run surrendered. His first outing. Tyler Petterini knows a little something about home runs. He hit one for 3 runs in the 4th. Sliced foul. It's 1-2.
Say what you want about the Tide. I've been really impressed with the blueprint, right? Like, they're going to throw a lot of guys early in the season. They're not phased at the scoreboard. You know, this is the first time they found themselves down in a ball game, and they're just going to keep rifling through that Rolodex arms.
Bouncer to Norton at second. Easy play to retire Petterini. That's 1 down. Since the 7-run rally in the 4th, 7 of the last 8 Ohio State batters have been retired. And now it's Matthew Gravelin, 1 for 3, couple of strikeouts, but a single and a run scored in the 4th.
Can't blame them, right? There's even for Alabama as well, a little bit of a lull offensively. Going down in order the last half. I don't want to say a little bit of a hangover for these offenses, but I give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, how do you top and match the insanity of that 4th?
Robertson off speed, nicked foul back behind Gravelin.
Gravelin's experienced a bit of a baseball dream this weekend. If you said, hey, would you rather rob a homer or hit a game-winning 3-run homer, what do you think his answer is?
If it was me and I was him, I'd say it doesn't matter. I just did both.
This is a trick question.
Right.
We said C is always the answer. It's C, all of the above.
You brought it back. Well done.
Yeah, come on. You give him else a cookie, dude.
2-2. I feel like my excitement over what's happening in this game is burning more calories. Speaking of cookies, I would swing and a miss, strike 3. I would crush. I had an oatmeal raisin in the other room in the press box yesterday that I would love one of those right now.
I'll tell you, this pitch, anything but a cookie, Darren. Oh, that's a true changeup. And I'll tell you, that lefty on righty changeup, college baseball was really fun until you find out as a youngster that when you get into conference play, scouting reports, they start to do a lot of homework on you. That changeup pretty much single-handedly ruined my career. Man, if you go look at my numbers against fastball, you're like, hey, you kind of rake. Then you get the conference play, and you're like, hey, guy's a career 231 hitter. Like, why do they keep throwing me changeups? Until finally a hitting coach had the nerve to tell me, you want the truth? I go, yes, sir. You can't hit them. I go, wow, that's a buzzkill.
Eckelman, by the way, deemed to have gone around on the swing, so it's 0-2. And Robertson poked through the left side. Eckelman extends the side with his first hit of the day. 1 for 4 now for the Buckeyes. Another knock with 2 away.
Isn't it funny that these coaches must know their teams better than anybody? Our favorite question going into these classics, hey, who's the guy that needs a little bit of love? Who flies under the radar? Who's the guy that's not maybe popping up in national headlines? For Alabama, Coach Vaughn said, without question, Brendan Norton, he's our heartbeat, and the guy's an animal in the box. Who did Coach Hare tell us? It was Mason Eckelman, who has been a monster this weekend. Another great swing the other way.
Mark Stevens takes, it's 1-0. Eckelman in it with an 0-2 count there, too. I mean, we've seen some very hitterish approaches. Out in front, Stevens, a wave and a miss, 1-1.
I know Eckelman's got the 2 punch-outs today, but he hit a laser to dead center that Bonamolo tracked down. And we talked about the exit velo yesterday. Hitterish, I know sounds funny, but it's the perfect adjective. Like, good hitters find a way to get their knocks. Even when you're hitting 107 right at people, they don't get discouraged. They don't stray away. And that's where you get that little CNI single through the 6 hole, because he stays on an 0-2 break ball and just shoots at the other side.
Stevens, watchful eye on that one to make it 3-1. Full count.
There's that changeup again. He loves the spinner against the lefties. He likes the changeup as the secondary off-speed pitch against the righties. And 3-1 changeup, it seems kind of mean, doesn't it? See if he goes back to it.
Stevens came around, strike 3. It strands the base runner, Robertson, with a couple of punch-outs. Puts up another 0 in the 7th for Ohio State.
That changeup falling off the table, Darren. I mean, that is you talk circle change. I mean, this is straight downhill, almost action of a splitter. That is a nasty, nasty pitch. This was a nasty question to potentially trick us up. What do we think?
It was. All right, so to revisit, in what year did Ohio State win their first national championship in baseball? I said 1966. You said 1969.
And it is?
Oh! 66.
Oh, man.
So confirmed now, we can say officially, Bryan Adams, not an Ohio State baseball.
Man,
I guess maybe he still could be, but they wouldn't be related if that was.
If we were the one to have sniffed that out after all these years with musical historians.
Listen, I just did this investigative series on Rintaro Sasaki. Don't think my next one would not have been about the songwriting of Bryan Adams on the D1 Baseball podcast feed. We would have been there. Narrative style, cinematic.
That would have been the biopic doc that we put together.
Yeah.
Shout out Frito, shout out. He humbly brags, man. If you have not listened and you are watching us today, that means you're a college baseball junkie. If you have not gone and listened to Darren Sasaki pod, you're an idiot. Go listen right now. I double dog dare you.
You're not, if you haven't, you're not an idiot.
No, I said it. No, I'm your anger translator. This is your free market. I got you. I'm going to market your product.
I don't know if I want to be marketed in a way that is.
Don King did it for years. I'm not saying that I'm trying to walk that line, but let's go.
All right, let's center this thing back up. Here we go. We've got some. Bringing the Chi back in. 10-3, Ohio State up 7. They've got to win by 5 runs or more to take the Jacks College Baseball Classic crown. It's actually a belt, but you get what I'm saying. They win the whole shebang. It's what we're all here for. Brendan Norton leads off for Alabama. 6, 7, 8 batters. Norton, Snell, Neal. Miss outside of the zone for Salzburg, who is trudging on. He's through 2 1/3 of one-hit baseball in relief. Norton scorches it to the corner and left. It gets all the way to the wall. Gravelin bobbles it on the bounce. That will not result in more bases. Norton is up easy.
Yeah.
Some gyrations to celebrate the double.
Brennan Shakira Norton, these hips do not lie. He says, Gravelin, you robbed this one, go grab that. Give him a little conditioning as this ball is peppered into the wall. So nice, had to see it twice. No, University of Alabama online replay. I wanted to see those dance moves just one more time.
Maybe not NSFW, according to
really?
Our fine partners at U of A Online.
I thought it was PG enough.
You've made a couple of pro wrestling references. About 1.5 people watching this will get this one. It was Val Venus-like. Do you get that one for the Attitude Era?
Yeah, I got that. What other WWE references have I gone to? Dude,
I don't remember specifically, but it's come up this weekend. Maybe off air.
Am I just oozing WWE aura over here?
No, you're not. But
okay.
You know I'm a fan. So
yeah, I did.
You've inserted it into some.
If someone got the Val Venus reference, please call us. I'd like to be your friend.
Snell takes and now has a 3-0. Okay, second word. We've gotten approval from the University of Alabama Online. Here's your second look.
Oh, baby, when you talk like that. That was my best Shakira. It's not quite your T-Pain impression, but I feel good about it. And I feel good about Brendan Norton. If they are able to come back and win this game, or if they are hoisting the belt, he is my pick to win the player of the tournament. Thoughts?
Yay!
It's the best day of my life.
Fly ball out to center. Reggie Bussey pulls it in. Norton's going to try to tag to third, and he's there. I took the bait.
Dude, if Cade Snell goes big fly to dead central while you hit us with the T-Pain impression of the year, Alabama's going to pay you to come down and have you announce just PA, not even call the games, have you PA for all of his at-bats. That was beautiful.
Hat tip, sir.
Hey, can anybody at home please go clip that for me? Make my new ringtone.
Tyler Robinson, the pitching coach for Ohio State, comes out and quickly makes the call to the pen. It'll be another left-hander for Ohio State. As we've seen Luke Carroll warming for a lot of this contest, the Oklahoma transfer. Graduate comes in relief of Zev Salzburg. Really was good. I mean, we talked about the perils of this bullpen for Ohio State. He gave them 2 2/3, and that was just the second hit he's given up.
And only got an out against Arizona State, as we mentioned, to be able to deliver in this moment and just to be the bridge. They said they were going to ask him to do something that he hadn't quite yet done in his collegiate career. Shout out to Zev Salzburg, giving the Buckeyes a fighting chance to hoist the belt.
Big time outing in a big-time game. Look, this matters. This playing in this setting, we've talked about how regional-like it is, and Justin Hare is trying to establish a culture in which Ohio State wants to get to the regionals with regularity. So for him to, I mean, you know, they get swept that opening weekend. He gets his first win as the Buckeyes head coach over a number 12 ranked NC State team. They play a wild extra innings contest with Coastal Carolina yesterday that prior to this one might have been the game of the weekend. To win something, it's not the ultimate prize, right? You still got a whole season to play, but winning something like the Jacks Classic here matters.
I was out in Phoenix last week, and I'm so glad KP brought it up on the broadcast yesterday. Like, I know they get swept, but it was not indicative of how well they played over the weekend. And when I got to see Coach Hare out in Phoenix that Sunday morning before they strapped it up against the Devils, like, he's like joking around like, boys, we just don't get swept. Pencil guy knows, hey, we just don't get swept, right? They do. But it was all in a light fun, and there was humor involved, and there was levity. There wasn't this pressure of trying to get the win. I think that's why it came with fairly amount of ease here at the Jacks Classic. To me, this ball club, right, for the bullpen to take on kind of the representation of their coach and go, we know the narrative. We know that we are better. We know that we can be better. Love to see a young man like Zev Salzberg go, all right, boys, I'll throw up a couple zeros for us.
Runner at third for Brady Neal. Healthy cut on the first from Luke Carroll. Breaking ball sent back into the protective netting, and it's 0-2.
Great pitch. You see the late bite, you can kind of tell by the reaction in Neal where, like, that foot gets down early, and then he almost has to stutter step with the hands. That shows you late life on a breaking ball.
Neal 0 for 2, walked and scored a run in the fourth. Waves and misses, could not catch up. A 3-pitch strikeout.
We told you, got to win by 5. This is a huge moment in the game for the Buckeyes. You get your lefty, you bring in the lefty. There's a certain amount of pressure knowing you're coming in the game going, hey, I got to get these guys. With the righty on deck, I got to get him. The defense is back to sacrifice the runs. That 2-run cushion you have of being the champion gets a little bit tighter. Luke Carroll, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Richie Bonamolo 0 for 2. First pitch fouled, but it's not an average 0 for 2. Got robbed on the diving catch by Reggie Bussey his first time up on a full count. 6-pitch AB. Walked on 7 pitches his second time up. Fly ball to center after 10 pitches more recently. Swinging away this time. Chops it. Stevens from shortstop off the backhand. Delivers a strike, but Bonamolo with the wheels runs it out and drives in a run.
Culture moments, right? Hey, man, he could pout. He could sit there and be upset with himself. He gets a fastball right over the heart of the plate. Takes a big hut. Rolls over. Back on that back hip is Stevens. Delivers a big throw. You'd like to almost see him come through this baseball, but like a track star, beating him out in the 100-meter. Bonamolo scratches across a run. Love the effort from the 9-hole.
And he turns the order over. Bryce Fowler now. 0 for 2 with a couple of walks. Took a chance on that one on the outside edge, 1-1.
Impressed with Carroll so far. Fastball frisky up to 93. Talked about the late life on the breaking ball.
That one's off the top of the bat head. Back to Stevens, no play. And everybody's safe
I'm not sure what they're going to rule this play. To me, Petterini coming in charging hard. This is a hit, and I'll tell you why. This ball is going to be cut in half. There's no way that they're not going to throw this one away. This is right off the end of the bat. This ball is spinning like crazy. And to me, it's a hit, especially with the leadoff man Fowler coming out of the box. I do not envy the incredible admin here that will have to make that decision, but that is not as easy as a play as it looks, but it is without question Petterini's ball to come cut off.
Justin LeBron misses on his first hack. It has been ruled an infield single for Fowler.
Good, I'm glad. Fowler's hit a couple balls hard. He deserves the hit, but also I'd hate to see Petterini charged with that error when it is a really difficult play.
Excuse me, hold myself there because anytime Justin LeBron does anything on this baseball field,
not only am I playing by the book up in the booth, but
but just get out of the way.
I'm just playing fan at this point. I'll watch this guy do something unbelievable.
0-2. And it's fouled off again.
Luke Carroll started his career at OU, bounced around, little junior college action. Learned a lot about his resiliency. A couple infield singles now, facing off against one of the best hitters in the country. Love getting ahead quickly.
Bounced foul again. And LeBron hanging tough with an 0-2 count. He's 1 for 4 with the missile. Over 400 feet to dead center field that drove in 3 earlier in the game.
Started off LeBron with this first changeup that Carroll's thrown. Now he's just gone spinner, spinner, spinner.
Another foul away.
This is that changeup again. Fouls off to the right side. Like we said, he really is a two-pitch mix guy, but with Justin LeBron, you're like, hey, maybe he won't see this changeup coming on. Anything to keep him off balance. That changeup at about 87. Last heater up to 93.
Another one blasted into center field for our friends in construction. The second blast for Justin LeBron. Another worth 3 runs for the Crimson Tide.
This is getting stupid. I hope that construction management team, you see him walk out. Don't need a helmet. Put him in a bubble when Justin LeBron's in the box. Everybody step aside and become a fan. A freshman All-American. One of the best shortstops in the entire country. Touch the deficit half. This is getting silly.
Ohio State, to secure a championship, has to win by 5 runs or more. And the Crimson Tide here in the bottom of the 7th just pulled it within 3.
An unfortunate turn of events. If you're a Buckeye fan, you think about the 2 infield singles battling down 0-2, but they don't call him Bronny for nothing. Oh, to the same part of the ballpark, no less.
Miss low and outside. Now 3-0 to Coleman Mizell.
They're our 4th 3-run homer hit of the game. Think these dudes are clutch?
Strike 1. It's every moment has topped the last. Now a full count against Coleman Mizell.
Crimson Tide faithful slowly wake up for what feels like the first time since that nutty 4th.
swing and a miss from 3-0 to 3 strikes. A bounce back for Carroll, but 4 runs crossed for Alabama in the bottom of the 7th. We got a game going into the 8th.
There's another one. Oh my gosh, he might be Lawrence.
Just an incredible game to get us started on the final day of the Jacks College Baseball Classic. 2 home runs, both good for 3 runs, hit by Justin LeBron, the shortstop, the star for this Alabama Crimson Tide team. Ohio State, in order to secure a Jacks Classic first place finish and that elusive title belt, they need to win by 5 runs or more. They have led by that for most of the contest, but LeBron, an absolute tank. His second off of the structure, not quite finished above the center field wall.
You want to go WWE on you? We need a watch out sign every time Justin LeBron steps up to the plate. Bronny, as they call him. I'm going to do my very best impression because I still think Brennan Norton might be the front runner. But if Bama can come back and win this one, Justin LeBron, the first-team freshman All-American, the first-team All-SEC shortstop selection, the freshman All-SEC team, the SEC All-Defensive team, a multiple SEC Player of the Week. Yeah, sure, a USA Collegiate National Team player over the summer. He's got me blushing with those hard eyes. Could he be hoisting that player of the tournament belt at the very end? 2 homers and 6 ribbies on Championship Sunday? That dog will hunt.
Nick Jamarusti hunting on the first pitch, swings and misses. 7, 8, 9 batters for Ohio State. And it's 0-2. This has gotten to a point where Bama is not playing to keep it within 4.
No.
It is within reach. They're playing to win and get the title here at the Jacks Classic outright. Jamarusti 0 for 2, a fly ball and a strikeout, but he did walk earlier as part of that 7-run 4th inning. Ohio State has not scored a run since then. Skyward into right. Fowler right underneath it. One down.
Still the hands. I'm not sure he was so sure he was right underneath it for a bit. The sun beaming right in on that right field spot here at the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp Stadium as Fowler a little fearful for about half a second. Locked in.
First pitch to Will Carpenter is a strike. 2 strikeouts and a walk in 3 plate appearances for him. Reggie Bussey in the on-deck circle will also get a shot in this top of the 8th. Big cut, 2 strikes. Called strike 3, painted on the outside corner. Tate Robertson gets the strikeout. That's 2 down.
So tough on lefties. Carpenter's frozen as that breaking ball flies across the plate. Brady Neal, great job securing that outside corner for out number 2 as it looks like Coach Vaughn going to keep playing chess. Loving the matchup. Looks like he'll make a move.
Good outing for Tate Robertson. Faced 6 batters to get 5 outs.
I may have spoke early because this is really the first time we've seen Coach Ron make a mound visit on his own.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a strategic, kind of a strategic dialogue more so than a maneuver, and I think that's exactly what it was. Robertson is cruising. I think the minute I saw Vaughn come out behind the dog, I go, I think you see head coach, time to make a change, but that's really not how they've operated all weekend. Their pitching coaches have made their changes out on the mound, so I think this was really more so about strategy than anything.
Reggie Bussey, great day so far, both in the field and at the plate. He's 2 for 3. Robertson's first is a strike.
Been so great that it drew the head ball coach up out of the dugout. Torres playing about 4 paces over and in.
Off the handle, dribbler, Norton backhands and gets the throw over to beat Bussey. 3 up, 3 down for Ohio State. They're still scoreless since they put up 7 in the 4th. They lead it by 3. Bottom 8 coming up.
This is the concert ticket, and the t-shirt you bought, and the wristband that the bouncer put on just a little too tight. This is the ride after the concert. To this place, Whataburger, where you ate these hash browns and drank this coffee with these people, your friends, and some guy named Rodney. No matter how your night starts, it should end with breakfast. Open 24/7 with breakfast served 11 p.m. to 11 a.m.
De facto championship game here at the Jacks Classic. Ohio State 10, Alabama 7. Ohio State would need to win by 5 runs or more to secure the championship. Alabama with a win wins outright because that would mean a 3-0 sweep of the weekend. Fantastic way to start our 3rd and final day of games here at the Jacks Classic, the 2nd annual edition of this event. Our thanks to our friends here, our gracious hosts with the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, VyStar Ballpark, the home of this great tournament, now 2 years running.
We have reached the pinnacle of this series, though, man. This game, giving us a little bit of everything. It felt like with that Ohio State Coastal extra inning game, we're like, oh, how good does it get here in Jacksonville? And the boys have one-upped themselves here on Sunday.
Jason Torres to the plate, 4-5-6 due up for Alabama. First pitch swinging and missing, 0-1. Luke Carroll remains in the game after giving up 4, or being part of a 4-run frame in the 7th, including giving up the 3-run home run to Justin LeBron.
He leads this team. This is his 4th appearance. Entered today 2 in the 3rd. Hadn't given up a run before that homer to LeBron.
Big cut, and it's 1-2.
And I think it's the right decision. He's been their most reliable starter, and the homer doesn't happen without 2 infield singles in just really weird fashion. So love that he's unfazed, love that he's back out there, and love the confidence from his coaching staff.
Now 2 balls, 2 strikes. With the 2/3 of an inning he's thrown today, he's tossed 3 innings on the season. Almost got it to snap in for strike 3. Full count.
He misses the spot, but I think because Eckelman's set up on the inside part of the plate, he's got to reach back with the body. I think it catches enough plate, but it's just one of those situations where he's penalized for missing a spot.
3-2. Swung on and missed. Torres is fanned, and that's the first away.
But this is what you get out of veteran arm. A little upset with maybe the 2-2 call. Fine. Here comes our best hitter of the afternoon. That's 92 at the top of the zone. Blows it by.
I mentioned that's now 3 1/3 innings thrown on the season for Carroll. That's the first leadoff batter of an inning that he's gotten out this season.
The Buckeyes have not made it easy on themselves this year. That's without question. That goes back to the start of the whole Felt like he had 2 runners on, flirted with danger until finally that LeBron 3-run homer got him. But I know the Buckeyes have struggled on the mound, but when you take a look at the stuff, like moving forward, maybe it's just cleaning up a few of those areas. Go get out number 1. Go strike number 1. Get ahead early. And this staff will see much better productivity.
Breaking ball misses outside, 3-0. Hodo 1 for 3 with the double in the third. There's strike 1. Brennan Norton on deck. That's ball 4. A man on with 1 out as Norton steps up. Doubled his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Fastball, strike 1. Two balls and 1 strike to Brennan Norton.
He's been tough to pitch to. He smashed sliders. He crushed that changeup to right field. He's hit homers out of the ballpark. He's a tough matchup for especially a guy like Carroll.
Breaking ball drops right in. Nice pitch to make it 2-2.
You keep using the adjective snap. It is a snapdragon breaking ball, isn't it? We talked about the late life, some of the kind of reactions we've seen from hitters today. That's an elite breaking ball from the former Sooner.
Nubbed out into shallow left center field, and it drops in front of Gravelin for a base hit.
When you're hot, you're hot. Especially when you're a guy like Brennan Norton, who constantly has found himself in 0-2 counts and has consistently found a way to get back to even, found a way to get back to full counts, constantly putting the ball in play. And this is what happens, right? Just good things happen when you put a little pressure on the opposing defense.
Rob Vaughn is going to assemble his hitter, base runners, and upcoming hitters.
Well, this gives us some time, because the upcoming hitter, Cade Snell, on Thursday night, Coach Vaughn said, hey, we did a little team karaoke, make the freshmen go. We mentioned Justin LeBron getting up and singing in front of his team. I go, Coach, I'm going to ask you the most important question I wrote today about this baseball team. Who's your best singer? He goes, not even a question. Cade Snell's got golden pipes. I go, really? He goes, watch this. Hey, Cade, come over here. Without even knowing the question, came over singing. I had to know, he sang a little Luke Bryan. So now he's trying to sing his way back into a tie ball game.
Looks at a bender for strike 1. Sometimes a group of any kind of team, whoever, you just got, you gotta, there's always one person always singing.
Uber talented. He did go Luke Bryan, which I thought was an interesting choice. But then when I heard him belt it out,
a deep register, too.
And he hit it, by the way.
All right.
Uber talented. Guys smashing baseballs today, already 2 for 4.
Rips it down the line and right, it's fair. Deep into the corner. A run is across. Norton scores as well. 1-run game.
Give him the Grammy and give him the Player of the Game nominee. His 3rd knock Cuts the deficit to 1.
A 2-run double for the Crimson Tide. They were down 10-0 going into the bottom of the 4th inning. They have scored 9 unanswered. Brady Neal looks at ball 1.
The bullpen woes continue as Ohio State appears to be warming Nick Copenhaver, who we saw shove on Friday afternoon. The question, can they cling on a 9-0 unanswered run? We knew the Tide wasn't going to go away easy. For Copenhaver, who threw a ton in that Friday night game, I believe 40-plus pitches.
It's a safe take. Brady Neal with a 3-1.
Still got to be selective here. There's a base open. Bonamalo, no easy double play candidate, but do not want to serve Brady Neal a cookie.
Brings the count full.
Great spot. I'm going back to the breaking ball here. I'm starting it on the hip of Neal. Trying to force a ground ball. Lee Ellis playing out in shallow right center.
Just fouled off by Neal.
Great pitch. These offensive identities are so similar, aren't they? Like we talked about it. Obviously, their ability to take advantage of mistakes, but they just consistently, it's got to be so frustrating to be on the mound against both of these ball clubs.
And here comes Tyler Robinson. No pointed call to the bullpen just yet.
Old count too. I wonder if he saw something mechanical. I mean, those were 2 back-to-back good pitches. I'm not sure if this is one just for the, hey, let's go back to having some fun, man. Obviously, this is a big moment, rough inning and a half, but you think about when it started for Carroll as Copenhaver continues to warm. He's looked good, right? Like, they haven't hit him hard. You think about the swing of Brennan Norton, right? That's a jam job. Will Hodo works a great at-bat. Kate Snell ambushes something early. Like it's not like he's...
Yeah, other than that, you got Bonamolo and Bryce Fowler consecutively with infield singles in the 7th. And that's ball 4.
That's a tough break for the Buckeyes. I thought that breaking ball may have caught the inner third, but hey, a catcher knows best. If anybody's going to know the zone, it's going to be Neal.
Puts them at first and second for Richie Bonamolo, who ran out an infield single that drove in a run his last time up, part of that 4-run 7th.
I think they're going to let him go at it. There's a lefty, obviously, in the hole. I think these next 2 batters are going to be for Carroll, and if they get back to LeBron, obviously you don't want to have Carroll face him a second time.
Inside corner there to Bonamolo. He might go back into pitch seeing mode after jumping on the first 2 his last time up. Fouled off the handle.
Because of that short arm action of Carroll, you see him elicit a lot of defensive swings, which have, unfortunately for he and Ohio State, turned into hits. Now Bonamolo down 0-2. You mentioned going back in the sightseeing mode and say, hey, how do you fight to see 2 more pitches, try to even the count?
0-2 drops in, strike 3. 2 away for the top of the order with 2 on.
Well, it's going to be his last batter. We're going to learn a lot about Luke Carroll. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Breaking ball, heater, breaking ball, see you later. Now time to face the top. It's the big boy's turn. Tying run out at second base, winning run over at first, and Fowler and LeBron have been ready to answer the bell all season long. Can they do it yet again?
4th strikeout for Carroll. Lefty here. And Fowler fouls back the first pitch. 1 for 3 with the infield single his last time up. Couple of walks mixed in. So he's reached 3 of 5 chances. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Check of the swing over to Chandler Durham at third base. And it's 0-2.
Those may have been the 2 best breaking balls Carroll's done yet. Triple up, make Fowler go chase.
The grad transfer with 2 strikes. Gets a swing and a miss and strands the 2 on the base paths. He finishes the job in 8th. That's his 5th strikeout, but it's a 1-run game. One-run game. Here's where we started. We're a long way from this point, but Jake Mihalik, the starting pitcher for Ohio State. Bobby Alcock, the starting pitcher for Alabama. These were the table setters. Again, not really much can be gleaned from this just because of what has evolved and happened since these 2 exited, either to begin the 4th inning in the case of Alcock or middle of the 4th inning in the case of Mihalik.
You highlight the walks category, but I mean, the line on Mihalik is a little diluted just because he's 1 swing away from getting out of there for 4 clean innings. If LeBron doesn't take him backside for 480,
well, and the walks had largely been erased, right? In those first 3 innings, remember, Alabama, despite the walks, had left 6 runners on.
The big conversation and storyline for Alabama and Coach Vaughn moving forward is, hey, you score 9 today, but they left 13 runners on compared to only 2 for Ohio State. When Ohio State has got them on, they've got them in. For Alabama, those first 3 innings, they felt like they left a lot on the table. They left 2 on the first, 2 on the second, 2 on the third, 3 in the 4th, until they were finally able to get that 3-run homer to go. Some solid relief pitchings to kind of bridge the 5th and 6th, and then the 7th, the can of worms opened back up as Alabama 9 unanswered.
Ohio State up 1 and has the top of the order. Trey Lipsy fouls it off. This is an important side for Ohio State for a lot of reasons. A, they just want to win the game. That gives them a shot to come away as the champions of this Jacks Classic. If they win by 5 or more, they secure the title.
So you're hunting a 4 spot, but really more importantly, you're really just hunting a win. I mean, it'd be super important to hoist that Peak Events trophy. It would mean a lot to both these ball clubs. With as much as this tournament has done for them and put them up in 5-star treatment. But at the end of the day, too, for a school like Ohio State, at the end of the year, do you know what this win would mean to that RPI? Like, it might be the difference between getting an at-large or, heck, if they even run the table in the Big Ten, the difference between hosting.
Wave through it for Lipsy. He strikes out for the 2nd time today. And that's the first away. So to clarify, if Ohio State wins by 4 runs or fewer, they would need NC State to beat Coastal Carolina.
Because then it's just the head-to-head.
Then it's just the head-to-head between them and Alabama. If Coastal Carolina gets to 2-1 for the weekend and creates a 3-way tie situation, that goes to run differential, which would then favor Alabama.
Beautifully said, sir.
It took me a few tries.
We nailed it, though.
You figure by the 9th inning, you'd have this cleared up. Lee Ellis has been heroic in moments this weekend for Ohio State, including earlier a 3-run home run, his second of the tournament in the 3rd inning, then an RBI single his very next time up in the 4th. He's 2 for 4, 4 driven in. Up the middle, Robertson stops it and composes himself to make the play.
This kid's got some moxie on the bump. It almost looks like a cartoon character up there, man. He's talking his talk, strutting his strut. This baseball tags him right on the heel. Gets a little inside on the hands of Ellis. So I'm not sure even if it's going to get by the middle infield, but with his wheels, surely a chance for an infield single. But Robertson going, don't worry, boys. Kick save at a Butte, and I got us.
So now 2 down. Ohio State with Tyler Petterini up. And it's a miss outside. 1-0 to Petterini, who's 1 for 4. A 3-run blast in the 4th inning. Two and 0.
Isn't even an insurance run here feel important, right? For Petterini, who's been red hot. He's got the big 3-run homer earlier today. Just some sort of insurance in case it is Copenhagen, the young freshman to come to close the door.
Big swing on 2-0. Fouls it back. That's strike 1. Again, they led 10-0, having to win by 5 or more. Alabama has just made this interesting in so many ways, with 9 unanswered. Petterini, diving stop by Hodo. The toss, Robertson covers. That's the 3rd out. To the bottom of the 9th we go. Alabama with a chance to walk it off and win the Jacks Classic outright. Ohio State has to keep it and a 1-run lead to stay alive. Big 3 up, 3 down side in the top of the 9th inning for Alabama, trailing by 1. A chance to walk it off and win the Jacks Classic outright.
Tate Robertson, 3 innings, 1 hit, no runs. It's not Sunday red, it's crimson red. And that's a Tiger-esque fist pump from Tate Robertson. How do you get back in a 10-run deficit? You need someone in the back end. Let's turn to that dude.
Ten to 9, Ohio State leads. Alabama, the home team, to the plate in the bottom of the 9th. Obviously, if you know baseball, you know they could tie it with 1, win it with 2 runs this frame. We have other circumstances in play. Oh, and there's that man again leading off for the Crimson Tide. Justin LeBron, a team-high 4 home runs, 2 of them launched beyond the wall in center field today. He's driven in 6 on those 2 swings. Weekly touch to 1 hop. Stevens from short. That's 1 away and a big first out.
How about the Ohio State coaching staff? Worked himself into a little bit of trouble, but all off of soft contact. Luke Carroll getting a nod. He's worked himself into a safe situation, but I love this confidence going right at the baddest dude in college baseball right now. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Coleman Mizell with Jason Torres in the on-deck circle here for Alabama. Tipped for an 0-1. Ohio State came into this game needing to win by 5 runs to secure a guaranteed Jack's Classic championship. If they win only by one, they need NC State to beat Coastal Carolina this afternoon in our second game. Mizell's walked twice, 0 for 3 otherwise. Beauty enters through the front door, makes it 2-2.
Big trust in the breaking balls. He takes a look at the pinch com bracelet. I think he goes back to it 2-2. Maybe try to bury this one.
Tried fastball, it misses outside. And it's a full count now. Mizell has had 4 full counts in 6 plate appearances. He takes the slider outside. And the tying run is aboard for the tie.
This is going to be one of the more special hitters, I think, around the country. And might not be the flashiest numbers. When you look at this OPP clip from your 3-hole, Mizell came in today with 8 walks and just 3 strikeouts. It's his 3rd walk already today.
Jason Torres is 1 for 5. Luke Carroll now at 60 pitches for the outing. And it's 2-0.
The most appearances for the Buckeyes on the season. He's now got his hands full as he finds himself down 2-0 to a serious power threat. Last year appearing in 39 games. Torres hit .331 for Miami. Now only in 157 at-bats, so, Como's playing in half of their contest. He was a Golden Spikes Award midseason watch list kid. Like, this guy, legit power. And he's got one swing away to play Jack Classic hero.
A 2-0, Carroll. Weakly grounded foul. Torres was trying to be the hero there.
I would say that's out of pocket for him, like, at the moment. He's done this all weekend long.
Right.
Like, this is no surprise to us. Like, all week he has tried to put dents in that beautiful scoreboard here.
So now it's 2-1. Three balls and 1 strike. With Will Hodo waiting in the on-deck circle.
You got to be really careful here. Like, if you're going to throw that slider 3-1, are you going to throw the fastball, which he struck Torres out in his last at-bat? Whatever it is, you got to be precise.
Ball 4. Consecutive walks for Carroll with 1 out.
I love the trust in Carroll, but Copenhagen's been warming for quite some time in that Ohio State dugout. Bullpen, excuse me. When do they make the move?
You keep the lefty if you go with Carroll here. There's a pinch runner at first base. Ahmad Duff, the speedy freshman, 5'7", 155. Not the lead runner, but that's the game-winning run over at first base. And now Ohio State's going to go to the bullpen.
Duff serves as the winning run. 3-sport athlete in high school, the number 2 outfielder in the state of Indiana. Duff, yeah, one of those sports who's track and field, the kid can bogey.
In comes Copenhaver. You mentioned the outing on Friday night for him against NC State in that upset for the Buckeyes over number 12, the Wolfpack. 3 innings of work. He gave up 2 hits, no runs, and tossed 47 pitches along the way.
If you remember in that first inning, man, just got some fastballs shellacked. Finds himself back up against the wall, and all of a sudden, man, that slider became his X factor. Right, he starts getting ahead early in counts, and for the Vanderbilt transfer, a redshirt freshman, really made his collegiate debut a week ago, but yesterday felt like his arrival. Copenhaver now getting the nod on Sunday to try to close the door, 1 out. No wiggle room to mess around. What a moment for the youngster.
I have no idea why you would want to turn away from this one. But if you have an interest, Minnesota's up 2-1 on Oregon State, the number 7 team in the country over in Round Rock. That, of course, is also streaming exclusively here on D1 Baseball.
They're not turning away from us. It's just the preview if you were at the movies. But this is the climax of ours. This is getting nuts, man. In a game that has felt like it's given us 5 to 6 top 10 nominees. I know our boys out in Texas are having a blast, but there is nowhere else in the country where I'd rather be today than sit next to you, sir, here in Jacksonville.
That goes both ways. Ohio State is going against convention here with Copenhaver, the righty, against the left-handed bat, Will Hodo. Off the outside edge, 1-0.
Coach Collins said he is Alabama baseball. Dreamed of playing for the Crimson Tide. These are the moments he dreamt of.
Winning run is at first base. Hodo looks at strike 1. Again outside.
Love the approach, though, trying to backdoor him with back-to-back sliders.
Given what you said about that breaking ball and the matchup righty-lefty. Now he goes fastball inside.
And that's where, I mean, come on, how about that sequence? He fired up behind the plate as Eckelman, rightfully so. Backdoor, inside heater at 92, man. Hodo frozen.
2-2. Yanked into the corner. And it's foul.
One too many heaters in, good sir. Wonder what Hodo was sitting on.
I think one too many might be the next one.
Well, the next one he can straighten out. But hey, the sequence range true, right? Not sitting on the slider down. Hodo clears the hips, clears the hands, just a bit too early.
Another 2-2. Hodo launches it up into the air. It is out of here by a long shot, a walk-off 3-run home run, and Alabama sweeps the weekend and wins the Jacksonville College Baseball Classic.
They ran the game-winning play. Will Hodo said, "Blitz, Bama, blitz." He ambushes a heater. Right center field. Let's go ahead and call the plaza at the Jacksonville Jumbo Strip Stadium. Roll, Tide, roll. Their third 3-run homer of the game from Coach Vaughn saying Alabama baseball himself. Will Hodo sends the Tide home heroes. What a ball game.
Between the two teams, 5 combined 3-run home runs, a fitting end to a wild, incredible championship run by the Crimson Tide. That might be one of the best baseball games I've ever seen.
Game of the year ending. The Jacksonville Classic, Day 3. Save the best for last. The champion, 5-6 Red Gems. Yeah, buddy.
From 10-0, a 12-10 walk-off victory for Alabama to secure the Jacks Classic title belt. For Jack DeLongchamp, the rest of our great crew here on D1Baseball.com, I'm Darren Vaught. Alabama 12 in style with a 2-run victory to win the Jacks Classic. Thanks for joining us.